Hey JJ, I sent Stacy a message, and I'll be doing, you know what? I'm not gonna get into it here later, but I'll tell you more. I lost you in the mountains. Hey Chicago BBW, what's up, peoples? Yeah, I sent her a message, so we'll be talking. I can't get into everything here because I'll give the news out later, but I sent Stacy a message. Hey Chicago BBW, what's up, Judy? Hey Joyce, what's up? I'll let a few more people come in. I'm getting ready to hook up my tea. I have a thing for in the summertime. I love tea, and since I'm borderline diabetic, I do obviously. Unlike my father, who's hard headed, I do non-sweet tea. So I stop at Love's. I'm gonna tell you though, the best tea I've had is actually, and I'm not a big fan of Pilot Flying J, but the one up in Emporia, Kansas, that tea was black almost, and I love me a good strong tea, and that tea was good as hell. The one at Love's is okay. Sometimes I won't get them because if they look like they ain't cleaning them right, I won't get them. But I went ahead and got this some tea. I just fueled. I'll be in Lubbock tomorrow. I'm doing some. I'll be packing up the truck, y'all, so y'all can figure out everything from that. And I got news coming up. Lawrence, Kansas. I think I've been through Lawrence. I've been through different parts of Kansas back in my early Swift days, and I've been through. I think there used to be, and I don't even know if there. Obviously, Kmart's gone under. Used to be a Kmart DC when I first did one of my first loads with Werner, when I had the female trainer. Um, we did a load in Kansas, but I just picked up a load in Emporia. I dropped a load and picked up a load in Emporia, Kansas. But this is dinner tonight is fish sandwiches because I'm not making anything right now. I gotta pack up everything. Um, we'll talk more about it, Chicago. I don't want to get too far into it because he could be watching this shit. I don't know. I don't trust anything. Today did it for me though. Today did it for me. Um, everybody Trucker Bill was like, hang in there and just take the loot, you know. But it's craziness. I'm over it. Let me tell you how hard I'm running. I'm running hard enough that for the past 3 months I've been platinum in Loves. That's how much I'm running. The checks have been anywhere from 2 to 3. This is the smallest check I've had from them, and they have 2 loads that weren't on it, and it's about a grand. Um, and well, it's under a grand because they took out my insurance. So when I get back, I got to get to the doctor. I got to get some refills done. We're gonna get all this off the truck, and then I'm gonna let them know. You know, I mean, I'm always honorable with people's stuff, so I'm gonna clean it up. It'll be like it'll look like ain't nobody been in here when I get done, cause I even bleach the truck. I'm gonna wipe everything down, bleach it down for the next person, and we're good. I mean, God bless them. I don't know how people deal with it. I can't. You know, his equipment is stealth. His equipment is amazing. The reefers very well kept, but that personality, ooh. And I know right now he's pissed off because of the letter. I know he is because today he's been following my truck all day. Can you not hear me? Hold on. Can you hear me? Anybody else having problems hearing me? Anybody having problems hearing me? Anybody else having problems hearing me? Chicago, you having problems hearing me? Or you can't hear me? Quan, can you still not hear me? Quan, my baby Quan, are you there? Hi, Red Rose. Okay, everybody hears me fine. Quan, I'm gonna have to tell you, reboot your phone or your computer, bro. I love you. You're my homie. Quan. Hey, Michelle. Okay. All right. Everybody hears me. Hey, Joyce. All right. I'm gonna go and tell y'all what happened today, and then y'all can chime in and tell me what you think. Um. So yesterday, I delivered the load. I told you about him screaming on the phone at me. That was the screaming, and you've done this before, and you're not answering if you don't call. And I'm like, whoa, homie biscuit, whoa, okay. Homie biscuit went all out the Richter scale, right? And I told him, I said, look, I'm not arguing with you. First of all, I'm new to your company. So to act this way, I said, first of all, anytime you've contacted me, I've contacted you back. Only time I haven't contacted him if I was asleep. I'm sleep. If I'm asleep, I don't get it. He sent something to me. I was at the house asleep. Normally he gives me advance notice, almost a day advance notice of a load to pick up. He sent something to me talking about I had to be at the truck in 4 hours and it had to be there by noon. I didn't wake up till way after that. And then when I woke up and he said to me, "When are you ready to roll?" Which is probably what he should have done in the first place, right? I responded and said, "I'm sorry, I just woke up. I'm just getting all your information. I just woke up." And so, that's not normally how he just to give me something. And so I said, I just woke up. I'm just getting this. And so he then gave me the load. Actually, it was the load I just went out with, the load I did. And this was after Memorial Day or whatever. And so he gave me the load. I ran with the load. Did a short run. I went from Tyson, Amarillo to Tyson, Kansas, and then back from Tyson, Kansas, back to Tyson, Amarillo. Well, they had flooding. I didn't know, and I was trying to take the quickest route. The quickest route was U.S. highways. Anytime you deal with Oklahoma, it's U.S. highways because you have to go through Oklahoma to get to Kansas the way I was coming. Well, I got detoured, and I told him, I said, I'm not going to get there by the time because I'm on all these detours out here due to whatever's going on with the weather. That the roads, they still have some flooding out here. So this is why you don't book as tight as he does because if shit happens, then you got to deal with that. So I told him, I said, I'll be. Well, it was a drop and hook. It's not a. It was going to be a drop and hook. Hey, Cammy. It's gonna be a drop and hook. It's very simple. So I went ahead, delivered. I did my time, sleeper berth. Got up, took the load to Emporia, Kansas. Went. They don't have a scale there. Drove to Pilot, whatever the name of it is, and just making sure. We got a lot of people from these other countries right now, and some of them they be driving. God forbid me. I don't mean to be mean, but they drive like they drive where they came from, and you have to be watching them. You have to watch them. So I went ahead and delivered that load, picked up the next load. Well, I got sick coming in, but I really didn't tell them I was sick. I just went ahead. I'm gonna get the load there, but I'm gonna have to make a couple stops because I had the runs really bad. Got the Imodium to lock it down. Got the load in. When I got the well, he sent me the message talking about they close. Tyson gonna stop running. All the Tyson and Amarillo shutting down because what's on the back of my truck is what they need to keep running. So I need to get there ASAP. Okay, whatever. Game. Anyway, I got the load to Tyson. What did she tell me? Just drop it on the line over there. Didn't even care, right? She just drop it on the line over there. Okay. But all the Tyson Amarillo gonna shut down for the shit I got on the back of the truck. I can't. So from there, um, things didn't get really weird. That was kind of I'm like this. It was just like this dude. Really, come on now. And I got the text messages. I ain't gonna lie to you. I got text messages. So then I got there. Um, Dropped the load. Lady said, just drop it on the line. And then I checked the load. I was picking up a load from Tyson Amarillo, and that load was going to go to Vegas. This is the run that I'm on that I'm just coming back here on from. I get that load, um, and it's going to be, I have to deliver, I was supposed to deliver it on the third or fourth, I can't remember. And it was supposed to be ready on Saturday at 8 o'clock at night. When I got there early, like late Friday, early Saturday morning around midnight or whatever. And the lady told me that when she went to look up the load I was supposed to pick up, I was still early because it wasn't supposed to be done till 8 o'clock that evening. And she said, I'm gonna let you know we're running about 20 hours behind, 20 hours or more behind on loads. I'm like, okay, no problem. I said, well, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and go into town because they're on the outskirts. Tyson Amarillo is on the outskirts of Amarillo. So I went into town, which is like 5 to 7 minutes away, right? And I was gonna go to Love's because I had free showers, but the Love's there is not very big. And I told y'all I don't walk across parking lots, but there was really no parking. So I went over to TA, and the TA had plenty of room. So I got to TA. Once I got to TA, okay, okay, got you. Cause Quan, I'm like, bro, I put it on the Bluetooth. I found it sounds better, and y'all ain't got to worry about the air conditioner. So I just leave it on the Bluetooth. If I'm connected, if I put this headset on, everybody can usually hear me. Quan, you messing with me, homie. So I got to, um, I went ahead and I noticed it was 8 o'clock. I called the gate because you can call. I have the gate number. And because you build a relationship, plus they have it on the thing, and some of the guards know me now because I go there and I joke with them and talk to them. I'm usually pretty friendly. I mean, I'm not an asshole unless you bring that out. I tried to be decent to people. Like I said, it's really been the Lord that made me who I am based on some of my life issues that I grew up in. Because my brother's in prison. One of my brothers, my father has had to bail out. That's not the only one that's got issues. I got another brother. He's had to bail him out a couple times. So because of temper issues, things that run in our family. And God has just really blessed me to where that's not something that I've had to really deal with. And I also have, I think being 50, 51, my tolerance for a lot of dumb shit is. And I was trying to hang out here because, like I said, I love his equipment. The equipment is on stealth. This truck is amazing. Having an APU, I love. Having in it the inverter, I love. Having a refrigerator, I love. I'm hoping the next place I go to, I can at least get a Freightliner with the refrigerator on it. If if that's the route I'm gonna take, I'm got a couple things in the pot right now. Um, I love driving. I actually do. But right now I'm getting burnt on just the dumb shit. If you go to a company like start a company, I like my driver manager. The equipment was shit. I'm just to be honest. The equipment was crap. The reefers horrid. The truck I had it pulled right. And I had to go through like 3 or 4 days to wait because they kept trying to give you pieces of shit trucks. I'm like, are you serious? 5 years of experience and you're trying to give somebody with experience shitty trucks, but but a baby can come in here and you give him a brand new truck with plastic on the seat. Get the hell out of here. Or you got to wait like 6 days, and what they're trying to do is they're forcing you because they know you need the money. That's you don't run, you need the money, right? Starter company game. I'm good. I'm good. Anyway, I got to Vegas. Well, I didn't get to Vegas yet. I'm in Amarillo. I call. The lady says we're 18 to 24 hours behind on the loads. No, your load is not ready. I was like, okay. So I figured wait till in the morning, and if it's still not ready, I'll notify him. So I waited till in the morning on Sunday. So I went, got my shower, went and ate. I ended up moving the truck over to Love's because I was in the Bobtail. Went over to Love's, parked on the side where the Bobtails park. I try not to take a parking spot unless I absolutely have to. But I usually park on the side. If I can find a place, because the big trucks really, if you have a truck and trailer, I try to be, hey, truck tripper, truck trips reefer. I don't know why they give it to him, man. It's the craziest shit ever. But I know that I'm a driver with 5+ years experience. I don't have no accidents, no incidents. I think you can give me a new truck. I'm just saying. If I walk in there, you should say, what do you want? We got all. They had tons of new trucks in the line. What they trying to give me was the stuff that had just come in that was either smoky. I went out. I still got pictures on one of my phones where the seat was in a cup. The whole seat mechanism was broken. I went out to one truck. The ABF light was on the bobtail the whole time. They Anyway, back to what I was saying. I can't. If I wouldn't tell you the stories, I can't. The whole starter company. Um, we won't even talk about the training, being the mentor thing. The mentor thing was horrid. And then they wanted me to come over and be an instructor at the school. Excuse me, apply to be an instructor at the school. Doesn't mean I was gonna get it, but it was nice of them to offer. I'm honestly, it was very nice. They sent me a personal invitation letter. I still had that. Um, but I just couldn't put my name behind putting babies in a truck after only 3 weeks of driving, or 3 weeks of trucking school, and I had some of their graduates of their school in my truck. that were scary as hell, like the one who rolled backwards down Raton. I'm just saying. Didn't know how to connect glad hands. Didn't know how to roll up the landing gear. I'm just saying. It needs to be at least a minimum of 6 months, 6 weeks long. Minimum. It should be longer than that, but at least 6 weeks. By the time I get done with you in 6 weeks, you'll know how to roll landing gear. You know how to back up under a trailer. You know how to connect the glad hands. And I saw what the babies did with the new shit. Because and the sad part is, they know within 6 months. I mean, me and my driver manager talked because I told her about, I would give reports of my students. We talked, and she said we expect that within the first 6 months they're going to have an accident. They already had. It was a set expectation. Anyway, let me build up to this drama today that finally told. I called my dad and I said when I get to Lubbock, I'm parking over at Rick Griffin's and we're unpacking the truck. I'm cleaning my load. This load doesn't deliver till Monday, but I'm packing the truck and cleaning it out. I'm done. I don't think the company itself, everybody else in the company is phenomenal. And I don't know that he's a bad guy. It might be that this is a mental issue for him. I don't know. I'm not even really mad. I'm just done. I just know that his personality and my personality is a clash. It's not going to work. And I know that the way I'm running harder than I've run. One, I do have good equipment, so I'm good at running in this. I'm comfortable at running in the equipment. Um, what did you say, Joyce? I saw that, but what did you put before that? Did you put something? um, and thank you, Joyce. The equipment he has is excellent. I give him. He gives you a phenomenal equipment. The pay is very good. It's good. I can get better. So I'm making 44 cents a mile. If y'all guys want to know, I'm making 44 cents a mile, and they do, I forgot what it is. It's like 14 cents coming off for per diem, which I actually have a problem with that because under the new Trump tax rules, you can't even write off your stuff anymore, from what I understand. You can't write off clothing. You can't write off, like what I could write off before, I can't write off unless you have a company. Then you can write it off. So I'm still kind of considering lease purchase. I have another person I'm looking at right now. She's somewhere I had been talking about long time ago, and she's having a good experience, and the payments aren't too high. They're like five something a week. And like she just went home time. She just got with them, went home time, and she said they told her just let us know when you're coming back. It's not a bunch of drama. And I'm like, okay. And I know on that truck you can put a refrigerator on it. I don't know if they have APU. I know they have the inverter on board, and hers is a 2019 Freightliner. I forgot how many miles it had on it, but relatively a new truck. All I'm looking for is 2000. If I can get me a Freightliner with where I can put my refrigerator in and I can plug up a microwave, we straight. You don't even have to put a refrigerator. I'll put my own damn refrigerator on there. I'm cool. Only thing I'm not gonna like is I lose my APU, and it's probably gonna go back to that on and off shit that the starter companies do with the temperature. I hate that. But if I got to do that for 6 months, fine. Until I do my lease purchase somewhere, that's fine. I can do that. I'll do that if I have to. But this right here is done. So I like the runs I have. I like the corridor I run. I like where I run to. That doesn't bother me. I don't like micromanaging. I don't like you talking to me like I'm Boo Boo Kitty. I don't like you talking to me like I'm a dog. And I don't like you talking to me crazy. And I don't like you being vengeful. And I can tell you that's what I'm dealing with right now. And especially if I talk to you in a calm manner. And then if I tell you because you come at me crazy and I didn't check you in a very educated manner, and you now more mad because you just got checked and you're not being able to, I'm the boss, I own the place, am in charge, and you supposed to put up with my shit like most of them do there at that and I'm forget probably some of us, and I'm not kowtowing yes a master kind of thing. I can't. I'm not. I'm a West Coast sister. We're different. And then you need to say, hey, you need to be born and raised here, and if you can yes a master, then yeah, you're hired. And y'all know that I'm gonna talk to you crazy and talk to you like you a dog and you my servant, and that's cool. But he owns the company, so if he want to talk to people crazy and they want to tolerate that, welcome to. It's not me. And I've just had to come to the conclusion it's not me. And I'm not going to play the game. I don't want to have to be in chess mood mode every time I talk to you. Every time I deal with you, it's always a chess move. So, because I always got to turn around and check you. I could do that all the time, but it's exhausting. And it's toxic. It's a very toxic way to do that. And this right here is too dangerous if you always your mind is thinking, okay, I got to deal with Boo Boo today, so I'm gonna have to be in checkmate mode to check his ass if he comes at me the wrong way. Okay, so I got to be in check mode. So here, let me tell you what happened. So Vegas load, get it delivered. Well, originally he's trying to tell me, oh, well, it's got to be there tomorrow because once they got it to me, but once they finally got done, it was at about 9 o'clock at night, 8:50. Okay, um, right, Chicago. It was about 8:50 at night. I called it 8:18 because they said 24 hours, 18 to 24 hours. So that would have been Sunday. I called it 8:18. I called it 5 something. I called him before, but I called from this phone and not the other phone. So I called two times on the other phone, but I also have logs on this phone that I could put over to that one. And I called and I checked periodically throughout the day. I called at 5 something. I called again at 8:18 p.m. So the next morning, so after 8:18, when they told me the load wasn't ready, I went to bed because I'd been up most of the day calling and checking and working on the truck. The next morning, I go to get up, and at first I think I don't know if he called or he sent something to the thing, and one of the two. And then it said your load. He texted me your load is ready, and he said, and it was been ready since 8 o'clock last night. So I immediately respond, which I have on text. I respond back to him with a picture of my phone call record to Tyson Gate in Amarillo, showing the two calls that I had made at 5 and at 8:18. I said it was no way it's ready at 8 because I called at 8:18 p.m. and they told me the load was not ready. He then turns around and says to me, "Well, it's ready now." He says, "So you need to roll." No, I don't like that either. That you need to roll shit. I'm out of that. I said, "I'm going to get dressed. I'm going to go to the bathroom and then I'll head over there." Very simple. That you need to roll as soon as I get dressed, then I'm gonna head over there. Don't try to rush me. And I hate that stuff. I done set a whole day patiently waiting for these people to get done with this load. And he's like, well, it's got to be there like that date, the scheduled date. I said, there is no way that load is going to get there in the morning. Hey, Shay, what's up, baby? There's no way that this load is going to get there in the morning. It's just not going to happen. I'm picking up the load. Now I'm heading over there. It's like 9 o'clock or whatever when I get there. I've got to scale the load, hook to the load, do the paperwork, check out the gate, plan the trip, and then head out. There's no way in hell that load is going to get there. And I'm at that point 800 some miles away from Vegas. Whatever, y'all can read churches on Google, the miles from Vegas to Amarillo. That right there is a day and a half run. And really, I always say just give it 2 days because you have whatever traffic, construction, and I'm not driving just 70 miles an hour, just full on, full throttle. I drive weather conditions, I drive road conditions, I drive traffic, I drive my load. That's what I used to tell my students. Driving your load is just not putting the damn pedal to the floor, going 70 miles an hour like some of our testosterone cowboys do. Come on now, and drive crazy as hell. Wind be blowing, the trailer be all over the damn place. So I did. I hit high winds. I hit a whole right. Like you supposed to do. I am a safety driver. But my average speed on this truck has been anywhere. And JJ can tell you when I first got it, I was like 70 miles. I was doing 65, 70 miles an hour on some of the loads because I was like, oh, this truck drive nice. And you can't really tell. As long as the weather's right, I'm on a good road, I can open the truck up. But if it's a bad road, if the weather ain't right, if I ain't seen the load, I drive a certain way. And normally it's gonna be between 50 and 65 miles an hour. I'm not gonna drive crazy. And I slow it down even lower than that if I have to, depending on where I'm at. Okay. So when I came through from Vegas, my goal or came from Amarillo, my goal was to try to get to Flagstaff. And I didn't get to Flagstaff. I got to the border of Arizona and New Mexico. But I hit two storms in New Mexico because New Mexico, it's like Wyoming. It's up and down. It's the luck of the draw with New Mexico. You go in there and have 50, 60, 70 mile an hour damn winds, okay? I stopped. I was on the phone with Bill. I stopped to go to the bathroom. I said, Bill, I'm going to talk to you in a minute. I got to go to the bathroom. I stopped at a rest area. just outside of here, just outside of the Santa Rosa area I'm in right now, just a little bit west of here. I go to the bathroom, and all of a sudden I'm happy. Some had told me to put the CB in while I was down those days, waiting for the load. Some told me to put the CB in, which I'm happy I did, because my CB has a feature on it that gives you a weather alert. So even if it's turned off right now, if there's a major weather issue, this CB cuts itself on, and it does this weird alarm sound, and then it says something weather, and sometimes it'll cut itself off, but you can just turn it back on and go to what's going on with the weather. And so then it did that weird sound, like, what the hell's going on? So I turn it on, and it says, storm pushing through um, New Mexico, 40 mile an hour. It's coming at 40 miles an hour with gust up to 60 some miles an hour. I'm like, oh hell. I could see it, but I thought it was moving slower. It was a little bit of wind, but child, please. I got in it. I said, "Leon, I hold my pee. I held my pee. I'm like, I gotta get through, because I didn't want to get stuck. I didn't want to get stuck in New Mexico. And so I was like, I don't want to get stuck here, because I had plans to get further. He had rescheduled the load from 4 in the morning to 9:30 in the morning. Didn't I tell you yesterday when I talked to you that this load wasn't gonna get there in the morning? In the morning, me in the morning. I'm not gonna be there till sometime in the afternoon, evening. On the day I was gonna get there, the day it was supposed to be delivered. It just wasn't gonna be in the morning. Okay, they were 24 hours late. As Bill said, you can't make late shit on time. It's just not gonna happen. So I turn around. Let me see here where I'm sitting. Make sure nobody hits my ass. I turn around, and I don't know if this is really a true parking spot. I know there's a bunch of trucks that was parked next to me. I'm parked a little ways back, but I might pull back a little bit more. We'll see. I got my running lights on. I keep my running lights on. Um, so I get the load. I get into Las Vegas. He had changed. He rescheduled it finally to the next day, which would have been the is it the fourth or the fifth? The fifth. The fifth. He schedules it to the fifth at 4 in the morning. 4:30 in the morning, something like that. 4:30 in the morning, and I'm going to Cisco in Las Vegas, in North Las Vegas. So I find a park at the Vegas place behind there. I get Lyft. I go down and get me something to eat. Y'all saw the video and get something to eat. Come back to the truck. Now I realize you can do what's called an 8-2 split, but I realize I'm not really going to get a true 8-2 split out of what's going on. It's not going to happen. So instead of doing the 8-2 split, I went ahead and I was just up to. I mean, I was literally, I don't even know if it was a block, a half a block, right from where the Tyson was. So I knew that I was going to only have 7 hours off duty. So I didn't put myself in sleeper berth. I just put it in off duty, waiting for them. And then when I went, because of the blitz, I went ahead and put myself into on duty delivery at 4 something in the morning. Well, since I didn't have a full sleeper berth, I still got to get my full sleeper berth. So after the load delivered, he's now giving me a whole nother load. And he said, well, you got to be there by 11 in the morning. I said, that's not going to happen. I'm not gonna be there by 11 in the morning, because I have to wait for my time to come back, because I had done the delivery at 4 in the morning. I didn't get a full 10 hours or 8 hours off to do a split, so I now have to it starts your whole sleeper berth time. I told him, and so I called the customer and I said, "What time do you guys close?" He said, "We close at 5 o'clock." I said, "Are you by appointment?" Because he's telling me to get there as soon as possible by 11. He's like, "No, first come, first serve." I said, "Okay, I will be there by 5." I said, "I'm waiting for hours to come back." And I went on to sleep and did and got up actually in the middle of my sleeper berth and was it in the middle? No, as my sleeper berth was wrapping up, because he didn't even reply back to me when I told him I couldn't, that it wasn't gonna happen. So I picked the load up, and when I get there, I flag my I flag my thing as loading. And he sees where this truck is at. He can watch where this truck is at any time. And trust me, he watches where all his trucks are at. So I flag it as loading. Um, at this point, I'm sitting on the street, okay, and I'm waiting because this place is really is. I mean, it's really it was downtown Vegas where this was. I had to pick up, and if y'all see what it was a hell of a dock. The FedEx driver was in a shorter truck, like a shorter kind of box truck, and he came over to me. He said, "Tell you what," he said, "there's a like an ABF whatever truck. There was a short ABF behind me." And he's like, "Let him go ahead and round you. By the time they get done unloading you, loading him up, all these cars in front will be gone, and then you can easily back the sleeper in there." Okay, you because I was a 53-foot sleeper. I was the biggest truck sitting there. There was a big truck there when I got there, but it was a day cab. It's a little bit different turning a day cab in that kind of environment. So they all moved out. I backed into the dock, got loaded, and I headed my ass on to Colorado. Now I was tired because my sleep was intermittent from being wake up to go do the 4 o'clock, then do half kind of sleeper berth for the other to go pick up this load. I'm calling this guy actually at the end of the sleep. I'm just a whole bunch of stuff I was doing. So, granted, you guys hear I'm doing like customer service shit in this truck, right? So I get there to the customer, they load me up very nice. Everybody, and that's one thing I will say, most of his customers are very nice. I haven't had any issues with any of his customers with the exception of that Oakland drama with the restaurant depot. Well, um I head on out, get up heading towards Colorado. I get into Utah and I'm getting tired. Getting tired to where I'm slowing down, parts of the road are missing. I'm like, okay, I need to get to a rest area. I found a little rest area, pulled in there. I was at where I needed a 30-minute break. I ate me a little bit of something, and then I laid down for an hour and a half. So I took a 2-hour break. When I woke up, I set my alarm. When I woke up, I had 6 hours left on the drive clock. So I went ahead and started driving. I ended up in Utah, in Green, I think it was Green River, Utah, in the mountains. And so I stopped there in Green River, um, and I went to sleeper berth. Here's where. Let me back up. So when I was in Vegas, that was on the 5th. I notified him because this is where the real problem. This is where he's being this is where he's really pissed off, and why he's being trying to be vengeful. I notified him on the 5th that I wanted June 26th to the 29th off. That's my birthday. My goal is hopefully to get back to Phoenix and hang out with Joe, and then see Vicky and Vivian, the puppies, the little rugrats, and hang out with them. That's my goal. But I don't know if that's going to happen. If that didn't happen, my other goal was I need to get some scripts refilled, and I need to get into the doctor because one of my meds they require to do blood work, and I haven't had the blood work done for a while because I've been between waiting for insurances to kick in. So I turned around. Um, I get on back. As I said, I stop, get some sleep, 6 hours, drive 6 hours, end up at Green River, Utah. I was about 100 miles from where I really was trying to get to, which was oh shoot, I forgot the name of it. There's a Love's there. Grand Junction. I was trying to get to Grand Junction. So I was away from Grand Junction. It's too a little too far from Grand Junction. Oh, I was gonna pack up Chuck tonight. I might do a few things tonight before I go to bunk, but I'm gonna pull out the duffel bags and pack up the clothes and stuff. Um, I end up in Green River, Utah, which is like about 100, like I said, just under 100 miles away from where I had really planned to go. So I actually, to me, I did pretty good for somebody who stopped for 2 hours and then drove a little bit more. So I was halfway into the Rockies, and then the rest of it would take me the rest of it would take me right into the customer for the next day once I drove. So while I'm in sleeper berth, well, actually, he got pissed off. Let me back up again. He got pissed off because he says, "What did he tell me about the birthday?" I didn't tell him it was my birthday. I just said I'm taking June 26th, and I said schedule me June 26th to June 29th off. And he told me to give advance notice. I'm doing this on the 5th. I'm notifying you on the 5th in writing. Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. I mean, that's like the 4th week of June. That's 4 weeks notice, 20 some days advance notice. Most of your trucking companies, you can tell them, I could tell a trucking company today, like if it was Swift or Werner, SRT, KLLM, you send a little macro through, tell them, hey, I want to be heading home on this date, and we're home. What zip code you want to head to? Because most of them will let you home time wherever you want a home time. and you send that through, and then they start routing you close to that date, right to that destination. If a trucking company doesn't do that for you, thumb them two fingers. Critical, you have to have your home time. You need to get off this truck. You need to get your mind right. If you don't, you're gonna be crazy like some of these assholes that are out here. I'm just being honest. So I tell him, and I said, well, if and I didn't tell him, I said, my goal is to be in Phoenix. So he comes back with um something about July 4th. I'm like, what the fuck is talking about July 4th? What are you talking about? I said, I'm not understanding. I said, I'm not asking for July. I'm asking for June. Was it June? What did I tell him? June. I mean June 26th. And he says, well, is there? He says, well, I don't have anything available until after July 4th. He said, is there any way you can change your plans? No. I said, nope. Straight up, no. Because if you start messing with my time off, I done worked for you almost 90 days. I've only had mainly resets. Carmex, y'all. I've only had resets for the most part, other than maybe a day off with a reset, and immediately run right back out. No, I need home time. I need some home time, and I need 4 days. And I'm getting ready to be 51. I'm trying to take my 51st birthday and chill the hell out. I might not do nothing. I might get a hotel room and just sleep. Okay. So he turns around and I said nope in NOPE, just like that. He didn't like that. He didn't like the nope. He didn't like that. So he comes back with what did he say? He comes back with, well, I don't normally give time off around a holiday. What holiday? It's June 26th. Y'all look at your calendar. There ain't no holidays in June. Monty talking about Father's Day. I'm like, you don't even know nothing about no damn Father's Day. I said, bro, Father's Day is not an official holiday. Come on now. There's no holiday in June. He kept saying July 4th. I said, Michael, I don't care about July. I want June 26th through the 29th. Oh, that's exactly very controlling. What it was is that he didn't get his way. If I would have said, oh yeah, then he thinks he can railroad his people because I'm the boss. I own the place. Ninja, sit down. Um, and maybe some of his people will put up with that because again, Lubbock is a different town. I tell you, if I told you my Wells Fargo story when I went there, I was like this because I had never seen some of the behaviors I saw at Wells Fargo. They used to sit on stools behind. Well, they had the sales department behind the customer service reps, and they had these long like sticks, like a stick, like a stick, and they'd sit behind the rep. These are like the leads or whatever. And if the rep was having problems with transferring calls to sales, they would hit their desk. Transfer that call to sales. I ain't never seen no kind of business environment like that ever, ever. I got over 20 years in financial institutions. I ain't never seen no. I was like, what in the hell? I wasn't there long. That was how they was running that center in Texas in Lubbock. I don't know if they do that shit in any other state, but I couldn't even pick my teeth up. It was some stuff I had never seen before, and I was like, oh, I would not have a job. I wouldn't have a job. I might be in jail, but I damn sure wouldn't have a job. I'd be gone. And I didn't last long. I stayed because I can't. Some of the behaviors and how they talk. I was like, oh no, 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 no. I'm not used to this. I have my girlfriend in Phoenix. I was telling her about it, and she works so well. She's in their fraud department, and she's like, "Are you shitting me?" I was like, "Girl, I ain't never seen no shit like this before." I said, "If I could legally film the stuff and send it to you because you can't because it's customer information that's being discussed," I said, "I would film this shit for you because I ain't never seen no shit like this before." And me and her worked together at a couple different companies. We worked at Charles Schwab together. She like, "Are you shit?" I was like, "Girl, I'm telling you, if you can get a visit and see this shit, this is some weird shit." I'm telling you, it was weird. But again, it's Lubbock, so there's a different group of people. That's why I don't have the desire to live there. It's a different mindset. Some of the people are very sweet people. Just different. That's all I can tell you is different. I had a homegirl who's an RN. She stopped through here a few times on the channel. And she told me, I knew you wasn't gonna last in Lubbock long because there's some different folks. She said, me and my husband have had to go through there for some things, and we go through and we don't stay long. We get in and we get the hell out. It's just a different small town mentality. Again, some of the people there very nice. If you're from Lubbock, I'm sorry. Some of them are very sweet people. They just odd as shit. It's a odd. It's like, and it's the other thing I noticed about them. They have a higher number of smokers. Like normally in Arizona, you don't see you see people smoke, but not. It's like there it's unusual to see a non-smoker. Everybody, I mean, it seems like everybody smokes in Lubbock. Everybody and their mama smoke. And I'm like, okay, it's a weird town, and that's my father fits in perfectly. He's odd. He's a control freak. He's a manipulator. Fits right in with all the weirdness. And then it's a hot ass mess. Um, Getting back to this guy. So when I told him nope, I knew that pissed him off. He's not in control. So then, and plus it was in a message with his son and the other guy, David and him. I did it in a group message. So his testosterone manly man. I'm in control. I'm the shit. I tell everybody what to do. I talk to people crazy and they tolerate it. You just got hit a different way from this little sister, right? So then was the next day when I was up in the mountain. He called two times, and then he called at 8 something during my sleeper birth, and then he put a message on the Qualcomm call ASAP, and then he called a third time at 9, like an hour later, all while I was sleeper. They never, ever, ever, since I've been here in 3 months, no one has ever disturbed me during my sleeper birth, ever. Okay. I ain't call. My signal on the ghetto mobile is not that great up in that area. So I ain't called back. I sent a message when I got out of sleeper birth, and I was lit because I knew that he was doing this. Y'all hold on, I gotta, if it's a mosquito, he's dead now. Um, I knew, I mean my gut, the Lord's been telling me follow my gut. My gut told me he's doing this. Right, Michelle, you got it. He's doing this in order to be a jerk because he's mad about the fact of how I responded to him with asking for the time off. So he's mad because of that. And I knew he was mad. So now you're calling me with something. I don't know what. Call me as soon as possible in order to do something. I got to get you back. I got to get you back. I have a mother who's just like him. I got to get you back. It's vengeful. I didn't do that. Instead, I responded on here and I said, I just got your message when I got up in the morning. I just got your message. Um, you know, I'm my area where I'm at right now. My set reception up here is not good. So basically, I'm gonna have to deal with you later. Obviously, if it was important, you would have either left a voicemail or you would have put a message on this machine. Call me ASAP as soon as possible. Okay, I will. So then, when the situation happened later on, that when once I got the load delivered, I called you yesterday, and da 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 da. What if that load had to go to North Dakota? I said, well, then most companies would have put it on this PeopleNet. Well, we're not most companies. I said, Michael, I'm not arguing with you. I'm not arguing with you. I'm calm because I realize I'm dealing with somebody who's like my mother. And what pisses them off, if they can't get you involved in their drama that they want to create because they need to fight with somebody for that day to have their whatever their orgasmic experience and being control freaky crazy, then it pisses them off even more. He's kind of like yelling. Well, you've done this before where I've contacted you. I said, no, I haven't, but I haven't. If you have an example, and well, and when we say we're available for you, and it's not that I'm calling to bother you. Did I say you were calling to bother me? When anybody ever tells you in a conversation, they say something like, "I'm not doing," it usually means that's exactly what the hell they're doing. If I ain't say to you, I feel like you're bothering me, why would you even bring that topic up? It's like that Nigerian chick that was on my truck and she wasn't paying attention. And she said to me, well, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I never said you were being disrespectful, but you just told me that's what the hell you were doing. If I didn't say it and you said it, I ain't brought it up nowhere in the conversation, then what you just did was tell me you're being disrespectful. That's what you were doing. We've already discussed the phone usage. You still doing exactly what I asked you not to do. So you are being disrespectful. That's not what I said to you. I said to you, we had a discussion about the phone. You pulled it out, and you don't even know what's going on. Happened to be that there was a fire in the Rockies. We were getting ready to go through the Rockies. You ain't listening. You don't even know what we're driving into, and you want me to let you drive me through a mountain of this magnitude, and you done rolled down another one? No. And the reason why, and I'm telling you, the reason why is exactly what I'm talking about. If you're not paying attention, you're gonna drive us right into the middle of a damn fire. I can't. Um, he then fussing about, oh, well, that load could have had a change in it. I said, well, most people would have put it on here. I said, well, we're not most. I said, yes, I definitely know you're not most companies. I've already figured it out. Michael, I'm not arguing with you. I said, but I am new to your company. So if you have a different methodology by which you communicate, use the big word, y'all. And you need to just express that and train it. Unfortunately, I'm not a mind reader. My goal was to get the load to where it's supposed to be, and then I was going to follow up with you. Now we do have some issues now. I said, and well, I'm going to take over from here. I'm going to take it from here. You go ahead and do that, Michael. But I already called these people, just so you know. And so when he got off the phone with me talking crazy, I put everything in writing. And the way I read that in previous video. Y'all have to watch that. I read what I wrote him. Now, what I wrote him was a checkmate. It really was. It was professional. It wasn't mean. Well, it wasn't mean. It was written very professional. Now, you can read between the lines and get my point. But my point was, you're talking to me crazy. My point is that what you said wasn't true. My point is that you're doing something that, if you're going to use the excuse, which it was a way to try to put everything back on you, because he's trying to blame me for, I'm here and there's nobody here. That's not, and that wasn't what that was. He still never told me why he was calling the previous day, why I needed to call ASAP, because that wasn't had nothing to do with that load. You were trying to call and screw with me. You were calling during my sleeper berth to wake me up. That is the most disrespectful thing you can do to a driver. You were calling during sleeper berth to try to be a butthole, to try to be vengeful, to wake me up during my sleeper berth. That's what you were doing. And to probably be annoying because you're pissed off about the day off thing. This all stems back to that day off. I can bet you money on it. Now, on top of the day off, now you're even more pissed because I wrote you that letter and told you about yourself and said, well, what else am I supposed to presume? Most companies, the standard is, if there's an issue with the load, because that's what he said. Well, if there was an issue with the load, you didn't call me back. I said, well, most companies, I wrote in his letter, if there was an issue with the load and you couldn't get me by phone, which wouldn't be usually the first result anyway, the first step is always to do the computer, would have put that on the Qualcomm or the PeopleNet software. And then I would have woke up and I would have had a message, Shannon XYZ with the load, please do this, this, and this. But you didn't do that. You just put call as soon as possible, and that's not usually standard. So unfortunately, I have to presume, based on my experiences from these other companies, and I listed every last one of them, would have put this on the machine, which is one of the reasons they put it on board the truck in the first place, because you can be somewhere where there's no cell reception. Driver could have lost the phone. Driver might not have paid the phone bill. Phone could have got broken. Phone could have been stolen. But this right here is on the truck. If the truck is there, that's usually there unless the driver ripped it out. I'm just saying. So I don't understand why you can't put the message on here and all you put is call ASAP in the middle of my sleeper berth. So no, I didn't call you in the middle of the sleeper berth. I did not. And I didn't answer your call in the middle of the sleeper berth because my reception was not all that great. At this point, I'm I'm checking my boxes, okay? Today was the final straw. I'm not mad. I'm actually very calm. I'm just done. Bill and my dad was like, stay there and just keep taking his money and just keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing your job. Well, this is not the kind of job where you can have someone who is vengeful, pestering, and trying to, I guess, pick at you at every stance he can because he gets off on it. That's his thrill and his way of feeling important in life. I can't. This is too dangerous out here to be in that kind of environment. It's extremely toxic. And I'm not going to be where I have to go, here he comes again, trying some new shenanigan. And while I'm trying to concentrate on driving the truck, I'm at the same time thinking of my next chess move to keep checking your ass because of dumb shit. I can't. It's just it's way too much. And why should I have to do that? That's you already got enough stress just dealing with everybody else out here. It shouldn't be you shouldn't be like this. And it's unfortunate because like I said, his setup is not bad. It's very manual, but his personality managing drivers is horrid. Like I said, maybe he's not a bad guy. This might be mental because I can tell you my mom is crazy. She crazy as hell. And she's crazy because of things that happened to her. She's molested when she was a kid. She was the fat kid. She was not liked by her parent or by her mother. She wasn't the favorite child. She was treated as a second class citizen in the household. It develops a certain content and character. Hey there, D.L. Lieberman. Um, it creates a certain character. So I don't know what happened to him, and I'm sorry for whatever happened to him. And so his importance, his feeling big about himself has been, I think, how he interacts with his drivers and this screaming and control freakiness and all that other stuff. That's psychological. That's something psychological. And it stems usually from somewhere. I don't know. He's not a very tall man. Some people, the girl who referred me here says she thinks he got Napoleon complex. Possibly. I don't know. I don't really care. I don't care. I pray that whatever his issues are, the Lord will help him with it, but I'm done. So you can talk to the country bumpkins in Lubbock like they boo boo fool, but I'm done with it. So today, okay, today I get I go ahead and I schedule so this load because of how everything happened with the other load that I was dropping off and it took us a while to find people who even knew what to do. They didn't even have a loading dock. They had to borrow the construction company guy with the forklift to get the stuff off the back of the truck. Come on, are you gonna unload the truck? I said, I don't load trucks. I do not unload trucks. I unload shiznit. Whatever load we do, they better have a lumper or I won't be unloading it. It'll get returned to the company. I won't be. Oh no. Okay. Fluffy is not gonna be back there unload. I done fractured an ankle. Me in the back of taking anything, climbing on it's done. It's done. The most I do is climb up and get a load lock. That's it. And then I walk that around onto the dock or I put it in the back and either they'll put it up or I'll bump the dock. That's it. I'm good. I'm done. So this genius. He turns around and I was the load. I usually call a customer. I call and say, hey, I knew that I didn't have the hours because I ran out of hours with this whole drop in the field, dirt field, and all that drama. So I ran out of hours doing all that, waiting for the construction zone in the sand, praying that the truck don't get stopped. I mean, see, y'all should have seen where I was at. It was a hot ass mess up in Colorado Springs at this resort, and I'm on their construction site, and it's sandy, and they had wet, and I was praying we didn't get stuck. So anyway, turn around. Um, yeah, I might be moving this truck because I don't trust these folks turning this corner not to hit my ass. I'll decide later. Ain't a lot of parking spots. I've had a bunch of people next to me, which helped. But when you don't have people here next to you, then it gets kind of questionable. So turn around. He I send a message to him that I'm not going to get to this next stop to go get the potatoes I have right now at the on the scheduled time that he wanted. He tried to get there before 5 o'clock. It wasn't going to happen because I had to wait for hours. So I actually personal conveyed empty over to a Love's up in Pueblo because where I was going to go was towards Pueblo. Got me a shower, and then I was going to head to this customer that evening. Yes, I still have my hair. I haven't picked it out yet. I forgot to take the tweezers in with me. Um, my friendly neighborhood irritating hair. So at this point, um, I had gone on and I called the customer and said, "Look, I'm not going to be there at Oh, hold on. Let me do this real quick. Hello to the girl at San Felipe who watched my video. I went to San Felipe Ambas, and it's an old video I did. And she came up to me. She said, "You're the lady trucker with the doll name." I said, "Yes, ma'am." She goes, She said, "How are we doing now?" Because I had a really bad experience at this particular Ambest, and I did it in a video, and they've remodeled the place. I've been back 3 or 4 times. I will give you a second try, even if your service was shitty. I would go back because sometimes it could just be luck of the draw that night. I was so hot though that night that I went there, and I was working for Pride Transport out of Utah, and I just had a horrible experience. I was trying to get a shower. It was horrid. It was just a horrible experience. But I've been back. I haven't had a shower there, but I've been back for other stuff, usually just to eat because they have a really good little restaurant. Their Indian fried bread taco. I still have some left over from today. We're gonna get to that in a minute. That actually is amazing. I like the green chili. It is hot, but I like hot, so it was very good. So I that's what I had for lunch today, and I have a little bit left over, and I get the green chili chicken one. Well, anyway, lo and behold, um, I sent a message through because I'm still gonna communicate effectively, even if you're acting an asshole. I'm still gonna communicate. I sent a message through on the Qualcomm to him and the other guy because I did both. Because right now he's acting so weird, I'm doing both. And I said, "Look, I'm not going to get there." No, I replied back. I said, "I'm not going to get there by 5 o'clock." And so I said, "I'm not going to get there by that because I've got to wait for hours to come back." So at that point, I called the customer. I'm already on the phone with the customer, and she's like, "I said, are you open tomorrow?" Which was today, Saturday. And she said, "Yeah." She said, "We're open only by appointment only." I said, "Well, I'm the driver. My name is Shannon. This is the company I'm with." I said, "Can you schedule me sometime in tomorrow?" She said, "I'll schedule first thing in the morning, 8 o'clock." I said, "Okay." I said, "Do you have a parking where I can park on the lot?" Because I knew my hour was going to come back later that evening. I could go there. Colorado, kind of like Utah and Wyoming and New Mexico. It can be a luck of the draw. High winds. I'm empty at this point. So I'm sitting here. This thing goes off. I'm happy I got the CB. The CB is actually your friend right now. Okay. It's phenomenal. So I get the the little sound, and then it said, when I got back, I'd gotten from my shower, and I was going to head out to this place. It said that there was a storm coming through. It was 40 mile an hour again. I think like anywhere from 50 to 70 mile an hour gust. Um, it gave Colorado Springs and some other places. It was pushing through at about 40 miles an hour. I was like, okay. So, and I could feel the truck rock. You could see a little bit of the storm. So I was like, "Imma sit here for a little bit," and then it kept going, and I kept checking weather band, and they increased the lateness of the storm. So I said, "You know what? Where I was going, I've never been." So I was gonna be going further into some mountainous areas of Colorado, elevation up, you're gonna get the wind harder. And I didn't know where the storm would be sitting in conjunction to that area. Yeah, right. So I didn't know where the storm was gonna be sitting in conjunction to that area. So at this point, I was like, you know what? I'll go ahead and sleep here, and then I'll just leave out early in the morning because by that time, this should have pushed through. It should have pushed through. And I was tired. I had driven through the rest of the Rockies. I had done that load, and I just was tired. I got my shower, and I was exhausted. So I climbed back in that bunk. I passed the hell out. I think I made a sandwich. I had a Subway. I had a Subway. I passed the hell out and went to sleep. Uh, got up, went in, but I sent him a message letting him know. So I let him know. I said, "Look, talked to Melissa at this customer." I said, "I talked to her. I'm going in first thing in the morning at 8 a.m. Boop de boop de boop. They scheduled me for then." I sent that, which I know he got immediately. He immediately followed back with, "You need to call the customer." So I know you already got the message. I called the customer, and then you're gonna tell me what I need to do after I've done it. So I came back and I said, "Please read previous message. I did call the customer. See previous message." Okay. At this point, I'm done. I get to bed, gotta eat, go to sleep. Today I get up, go get this load. Get loaded with the potatoes. Guy was really nice there. Cute dog. He had the bulldog with the teeth that come up. She's a cutie. Um, and she's a cute little dog. She's just sitting there, and she's just very good dog. Went in there. I did to do the scale. Had to run the bathroom. And very nice. Did all that, and I think he owned the place. The guy I talked to, and I have a feeling the Melissa, the lady who rescheduled me, probably is his wife. And so I got put me in a dock door immediately. They loaded everything up. So I looked to see what routing I had available. And he says, "Well, how are you headed?" I said, "Well, I think I'm going back I-25 because one of the routings I had available kept telling me unavoidable road restriction. And so usually that means something with the weight of the truck or the length of the truck or the height of the truck. So I was like, I'm not going to take that route. It would have been the quickest route. I would have been in Lubbock today. But unfortunately, there was some kind of restriction. So I was like, I'm not going to take this route. So the route that I took, I knew was going to drop me down pat to I-25. And I was like, oh, there's not a lot of truck stops. I don't even think there was any truck stops on that route. If I can, I don't remember any truck stops. So I took 285 down out of where I was up in the mountain, out of Colorado into New Mexico, and it meets I-25. Well, about 30 miles south of where it hits I-25, there's an Ambes San Felipe Black Mesa casino and Ambes place. I'm not a gambler, so that wasn't what I'm there for the food. So I was like, I'll take a break there. So I dropped down to 30 miles, and what my GPS was going to do was going to route me right back up and down the 285. But I dropped down A, I need to go to the bathroom, and B, I was going to get me some lunch. But I also could have gone I-25 down to 40, which was another alternative because I was going to see what everything looked like. Both GPSs were routing me back up and then over 285. So I was going to be fine. But I'm like, there's nothing really in the vicinity, and there was nothing on 285. I mean, there's absolutely nothing on 285. So I go stop, park the truck, get off the truck. I mean, step off the truck. I'm parked near the door of the Ambest, the back area where the drivers go in. I walk, I don't even think it was 10 steps. This dude is calling the phone. I didn't even answer. I didn't answer. Reception's not great, but I already knew this is gonna be some drama. That bothered me, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'll get to it in a minute. I go in and go have my lunch. I go to the bathroom, go get me some lunch, sit down, eat. Okay. I've been running from the time I didn't run all the way from the potatoes, did the potatoes. That was 3 hour drive in there. Drove all the way down to where I'm at. I've been running. So I'm gonna go in here, sit down, and get off the truck. Okay. I sit down, eat my meal, pack everything up, go to the bathroom on the way out, get some ice, go climb in the truck. He has a message on here, and I have the message. I'll take a picture of it later. I'm gonna take a picture of everything. Um, it says you're going the wrong way. Now, y'all marinate on that because it already should tell you what you need to know. So let me help you. The office closes on Saturdays at 12 noon. If you're watching my truck enough, because if you have over 100 trucks, you're watching this truck. That's how pissed off he was about that letter. He's looking for anything. You're watching this truck, one truck, to where I stop the truck, get off the truck, and you tell me I'm going the wrong way. You're not even in the office. You're either in your car or at home. At this point, it's like 4 or 5 o'clock in Lubbock. So I called the girl who referred me there, and let me tell you what she said immediately. She said, "He watching your truck like a hawk." I said, "Yeah." She's like, no, she went in and talked to them. She said that she said, Shannon, the guys, the son, he's like, she's great. She's running. She came out, boom. It's the daddy. He being a dick. He mad because I checked him, and he's mad all the way back to the day off, and now he's mad because of the letter. Because he don't. "Shh, you gonna talk to me that way? I'm gonna get you back because you're a child, being childish. Okay, so now you're just looking for stuff." And so I was like, "Oh," I said, "Well, yeah, I was thinking about either dropping I-25 down to 40, but if you want me to go this other route, I'll go ahead and go that other route." I replied back on here, and at that point in time, right, Shay, that's exactly what it is. And so he's trying to find something to get you back on. But I can't. That's childish. I can't. At this point, you watching the truck at that level, you're being that you're being a massive little boy, and you're just looking to get some. You're dumb, dumb as hell. You got somebody who hasn't had any accidents. Your loads are virtually on time. If there's issues, I've worked with the customer to reschedule the loads. You're very butthurt, and I'm not gonna play the game with you. I'm not gonna play the game. So for me, it's game over. I'm done with it. I'm over it. This is way. Oh shoot! You know what? I might have to pull these back and move into that area. Can I do a pull through? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I'm gonna move this. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Y'all gonna see me. I'm gonna. The truck next to me just left, and he was actually in an official parking spot. Hold on. Y'all can see my big ass butt. Hold on. Give me a second, y'all. I think I'm gonna. Can I swing around? Yeah, I can. Where's my glasses? Hold on. All right, y'all gonna ride with me. I'm just in a parking lot, so we're just gonna move around the parking lot. Hold on. My thing is that where I'm sitting is not quite an official parking spot, and if you get hit in the parking lot and you're not parked in an official spot, they can put that as a preventable. If you guys don't know that, so it depends on the company, but they can put it as a preventable. Hold on. So since JoJo Trucker just left, I'm gonna go around and get me the official spot, which is where he was. If don't nobody beat me to it. Hold on. And sometimes they'll move too, because if you're a reefer, they don't want to be parked next to a running reefer. So I'll move around. So today, while I'm doing this, I called the girl who referred me in. She doesn't work here anymore. It's a twofold reason. One, she got sick of him doing the little 35 resets was one. And two, he was on her nerves. That was one. And then she also had some family stuff, but she started here and she said she worked for him for about a year, put up with the shit, then left and then came back because the money is good. The money's good. Um, but she came back. So God bless her. I can't. I'm like, you. But she said to me today when I told her, she said, wait a minute. She said, what time is it in Lubbock? Because she lives in Lubbock. And she said, I'm gonna say something to you. And she said, and I'm sorry I didn't tell you about him. She said, she did tell me the equipment was good. That's exactly what she said. She said the equipment was good, but she did not tell me about him. And she said he's the only issue. The company itself is okay. The people inside are, I'm not trying to be your buddy, your friend. I'm not. I'm not even in that for that reason. I'm simply there to get my money and go to hell home. I'm not trying to be nobody's buddy, friend. I'm not. I don't even care about that. Just pay me my money and let me go to hell home. That's what I want. I don't want a whole bunch of drama. I don't want no drama, no BS. Pay me my money and let me go to hell home. All right, let's see if I take it my old spot. Okay, hold on, y'all. Let me pull my curtain, and then we'll put the light back on. Hold on. So now I'm in an official parking spot. Hold on. All right, hold on. All right, there we go. All right. So he calls. I hadn't been even 10 steps from the truck. So he watched the truck stop, an immediate call. Then he puts you going the wrong way on the people net and then tells me what route to take. At that point, it's not even about him telling me the route to take. It's about the purpose behind it. It's also this is part of the communication. If you have a special route you won't take in when a load is picked up, shouldn't you put that with the delivery instructions? I'm not a mind reader. Otherwise, you telling me I can route my trip accordingly. I can route it however I want to route it. So I called the girl who referred me in, and she told me, she said, I'm gonna say this to you. She said, and don't take offense. I said, I said, I already have something in my mind, but tell me what you gotta tell me. Pack your shit up off the truck and be done with him. This the girl referred me in. She said, he's watching your truck because he's pissed off because you stood up to him. Yep, we're done. There's a 200,000 driver shortage. You only run a little hundred trucking company. You talking to your drivers like Boo Boo Kitty. You got a sign out there saying you need drivers. You got a driver who's running your loads. You got a driver who's doing customer service from the truck because he doesn't have a customer service group. There's only three dispatchers in that whole office. Him, the other guy he watches through the window, who was a driver, and his son-in-law who handles the local runs to the grocery stores. That's it. He has no customer service team. Zero. So I'm my own customer service. 44 cents a mile. Now he does give you percentage of stops, but at that point, it's that's the I can be doing 46 cents a mile and even better benefits with a major carrier. And when I put my home time in, I ain't got nobody trying to manipulate and play games with me. They just route me to my shit on the date I ask them to. But you mess with my money, you mess with my home time, you mess with my sleeper berth, three strikes we're out. And then you got the nerve to try to be vengeful and talk to people crazy. I'm not even mad because it's stupid. I'm like, bro, what kind of parts of this company? Genius. It's just crazy. Hey, Cat Eyes, how you doing? Anyway, um, yeah, he is. And I talked to Chuck Bill, and Chuck Bill said, well, his loss. Yeah, and that was my other concern. April, welcome. How you doing, April? Welcome to the channel. I don't know if you've been on here before, but thank you. Welcome to the channel. That was my other concern, April, is that when June 26th came around, that I wasn't gonna, and I knew if June 26th came around and I wasn't where I was supposed to be, if I wasn't in Phoenix or I wasn't in Lubbock, it was done. As soon as the truck got back to Lubbock, it was gonna be turned in. But like me and Trucker Bill talked, and Trucker Bill said, in the current climate of trucking, what you're doing is sending a big message. I'm just gonna tell them, and truly, I'm gonna tell them it's just, right now it's not a fit for my needs. And it's just not, and I want to thank him for his time. I need to be able to be have a little more flexibility. And right now he doesn't have that flexibility. He's too control freaky. So honestly, that's truth. And I got to deal with grumpy Smurf stuff. I got to deal with my own stuff and try to fit it in between him and his control freak stuff. I can't. So, and I'm not gonna say it like that. I'll write it out very professionally. And and I already had other stuff in the work. Before I make a move, I already got other moves going. So I'll let y'all know what that move is because I actually have another little back burner thing which I got to call on Monday. But I'm probably gonna take the initial one that was already because I already had an initial offer before coming here. And that lady told me if it don't work out here, call her. And I've already sent and she had been checking on me periodically anyway via email. And I just replied to her today saying I'll be done and be ready to go on Monday. So I'll have all the not this Monday, but the following Monday. So I'll be and hopefully if that goes where it is, then boom, I'll be going. I also have something that could be a work from home. I don't that's kind of a last resort because again, I don't want to be in that house with Grumpy. I don't want to be in the pissy house. So I like driving. Honestly, I do. Um and like I said, I'm praying I get decent equipment at this next place. It unfortunately it's a semi starter company. Um they're not gonna have the APU, they're gonna have a inverter that I have to have because I have to CPAP. Um, I'm hoping for 2019. I don't know if I'll get that. I'm praying for one. And then I'll probably stay with them 6 months, maybe a year, and then do some other stuff. Somebody else had referred me, recommended some other companies, and I'll check those too. But I want to probably get to where I can go and just be going because, and then I get back to. I really like to run for like 5 weeks and then take 5 days off. Here I've been coming back doing little resets, and it is tiring. I like it, but it's not always good. Um, Jaden. Hi, Jaden. Welcome to the channel. Big Spook 99. Let me plug this in because my phone is giving me a message and I'll answer that question. Because that's actually a very good question. Hold on. All right. I plugged it in. Let's hope that did it. Hold on. So I did plug in the phone. So hopefully that helped. Um, so to answer Big Spook's question, if you guys saw it, is it normal to move around companies so often? So actually, I was at my starter company and I tried another company, but I was there for about a year and a half, 2 years before trying another company, getting irritated with their equipment. Um, I went back to them, the company, starter company I was at. I went back to them because I do like some of their corporate methodology. I like the fact that they usually were trying to be as technology savvy as they could, like scanning of documents, immediate pay. You didn't have to really worry about, taking forever to get paid. Um, I liked a lot of that aspect of the starter company I was with. What I didn't like about them was they didn't have a reefer division when I was with them back before, but I had done dedicated Costco for them, and that was refrigerated. So that was kind of like my first introduction to doing refrigerated loads, which I loved. And then I ended up going to another company called Pride. They had refrigerated, and I loved it. I like refrigerated. Refrigerated is truly the lazy person's, so to speak. You still have to work trucker job because you're not going back there sweeping out trailers. I'm I, only time I'm in a trailer is if I'm putting up a load lock. That's it. That's it. Only time putting up a load lock, or if you have a strap or something like that's the only time I'm back in the trailer. I'm not in that trailer for any other reason. I'm not in 120 damn degree weather sweeping out a damn drive-in trailer. Oh, done that, been there. I'm good. Um, and usually when I do load locks now, I do them from the dock. I don't even do them. I don't climb up in the back. Hey V Griffith, what's up, baby? Sorry, I'm up here spitting. Big spoke to answer your question as best I can. I stayed with my starter company almost 3 years before trying to go. I tried a company in between that 3 year period because I've been back to them. I'd worked for them before, and I went back to them. And then I went back and I tried doing their mentor program, just the people they're producing is scary. The people are so addicted to their cell phones and they don't want to listen and they want to do stuff. So it's okay. I set very clear cut rules on my truck. You follow those rules, it doesn't bother you. Now, if you got safety issues, that's a whole nother issue. And if you have sanity issues, and I had one that had he had talked to different people and had a whole cartoon cast going on in the front seat by himself. So he had mental issues. Um, I had a Nigerian girl who could, whatever reason, she was skittish, and she rode backwards on Raton Mountain. So, and then I had one guy, he actually could drive, but he was so focused on his stuff at his house, his girlfriend, whatever, and her drama, that he almost ran over a parked car or a stopped car in a construction zone. And I also got another drive cam for riding up on folks because he went into his la la land about his chick. And then I had one girl who was taking the company for money and supposedly lost her bags. Then she couldn't drive because her butt bone was messed up, and it was just a whole bunch of drama. So I just did not this go round of students. I did not have a good go round. So at that point, I just went back to solo driving, and I just became very burnt out on dealing with equipment issues, especially their reefers for the reefer division. They had acquired a company. The reefers were from that original company. Any new reefers that were pretty much purchased were given to a lot of your dedicated groups like Winco, Costco, Walmart, and they were not put into the ones that we had that were raggedy weren't taken out. So I was picking up reefers where landing gear wasn't greased. I'm out there 45 minutes greasing landing gear, trying to get the rust to pop on 45,000-pound beef loads. Couldn't even get the damn thing into low gear. It was some madness. And by the time there's a point where you just say, I'm done with this. I think if it's a person starting, fine, but when you got almost 6 years experience and you're dealing with the madness, wasn't there anymore. So at this point, then went out and started looking for something else. Trucking's biggest issue, and the biggest issue with turnover, the biggest issue with people with people leaving companies, a big issue with people leaving the industry altogether, has to do with driver treatment and the culture of trucking. It has to do with, when I say driver treatment, that encompasses a lot. We're talking about what they're getting paid. We're talking about how you treat them. We're talking about home time. We're talking about the equipment. We're talking about the dangers of the job. We're talking about a whole bunch. Driver treatment encompasses a lot. If you just think, oh, it's just how they're being treated, no, I'm talking pay, I'm talking benefits, I'm talking about um what our accountability is out here as drivers. Somebody can here you are going in the rain down the road, driving normal, keeping your truck in its lane. Bobby Joe on the other side of the freeway, four wheeler, skids out, skids into your truck, and next thing you know, which is a very true story, you're in prison for manslaughter because they died under your truck, and they're gonna say, well, it was raining, you shouldn't have been in those conditions. My truck wasn't weaving on the road. I didn't skid out. They skid under me. You shouldn't have been there. Your fault. Okay? You could safely drive with chains on down the highway in the snow. Another person hit you. Shouldn't have been there. Your fault. That is another problem is that it's always the driver's fault opposed to the four-wheeler or another trucker. It's always going to be the trucker's fault. Somebody it's going to you're going to be the person who's going to be most likely blamed. Very rarely are you going to get out of it. Okay? That's some of the driver treatment. The rules and regulations that have put down on drivers now, even for stuff, safety stuff, that if you're a company driver and I've taken uh my truck to the shop, I took my truck to the shop 3 or 4 times regarding a lean, or excuse me, the truck pulling to the right. The first shop, they didn't do nothing but put a tire on it in Phoenix. The second shop, they tried to do a half-ass alignment, still pulled right. I got students telling them the truck pulls right, and they're holding the wheel like this because my truck pulls right, and I'm training them on that kind of equipment. There's a problem, and there's a problem when I go to go get equipment, and in the ready line of that particular large company, you have trucks with stuff still broken on them, and you haven't fixed, but you're trying to hand that out. And then if you don't take the broken stuff, they make you wait a day or two trying to force you into it. Um, there's just a lot of issues. And so what ends up happening in trucking is you have to try different companies to hopefully find your fit. When I first came into trucking, one of the ladies who mentored me in, and I'll get to your thing in a minute. One of the ladies who mentored me in, she told me, I don't know how true this is, there's a 300 some odd driver turnover at jobs in trucking because everybody's trying to find their fit. The companies lie to you, especially recruiters. They don't tell you always the full truth. You get into the company, you find out a whole nother thing. You're told this, that, and the other thing is maybe 50% of what you were told may be true, and that's a high number. Maybe even less than that. uh, you get in, and then you have to deal with whoever you may get as a driver manager, who might be a hot ass mess, kind of like what I'm dealing with. And then you're trying to rectify issues with that. Then if you ask to go to another driver manager, there's a couple on here that has been dealing with some of that, and I know other people. Then you got to worry about whether you might be retaliated because the one they give you might be old boy's friend, and you had to make a complaint on him because y'all didn't get along. In my situation, I can't even do that because they only have 3 driver managers at the whole company. So, my only option, since the owner is the driver one of the driver managers I deal with, and he's the problem, is to go ahead and do this. The turnover rate is high in trucking. It's high because people are trying to find their fit. For me, all I want you to do is give me my load and leave me alone. If there's a problem, I will contact you. If you have a problem or you know something's coming up, put it in writing on here. I contact you the same way. My driver manager from my other company, from the starter company, I did letters of stuff, any issues I had. I took pictures. Of, I liked her as a person. I didn't have a problem with her. What I had a problem with was the equipment. I had a problem with going to pick up reefer trailers and the brakes aren't working. I got a problem with picking up a reefer trailer, it's throwing codes, and you just did an inspection and worked on the reefer. I had a problem picking up trailers, and like I said, the brakes aren't working, and you just got through doing an inspection. What did you inspect? The brakes? I could engage all the brakes, roll forward easy, roll backwards easy, as if the brakes were off. Oh, I already know about them. One magical girl, welcome to the channel. I already know my homegirl actually just left them and is at a whole nother company right now, which is one of the places I'm looking at. Um, yeah, I already know about them, and when she told me about them, I was like, wow. Um, Trucker Bill, who was the guy who mentored me, he's got 42 years in, and I've used somewhat hard to hear him, but he has, and I have to do another interview with him. He said, "You don't know how many companies I have gone through over my career to make the money I want and get the treatment I want. It is what it is." And you sometimes have to go through several to try to find, I'm not saying perfect. I don't believe any company is perfect. But you have to know who you are and you have to know the level. For me, there are some big things. Mess with the money, mess with me getting my home time. Home time is rest. Home time is taking care of doctor's appointments. I'm on some life medical medicine that I have. One of them I have to this I'm gonna have to get a refill here soon. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. A, because I don't want to get out here and have an issue and then kill somebody because my medicine ain't I ain't been taking my meds because I'm out. So there's life. Um, what did you say? Oscar, welcome to the channel. Sometimes it's better to call, like poor example, when you get a flat tire or problems with the pickup slash delivery. Oscar Quintero. Well, yes, I did both. So Oscar, to your point, with my starter company, I normally would do, like, if I had a breakdown, I would do it on here and then I'd also call. I like to do it both ways, but I always like stuff in writing because my father, Grumpy Smurf, he has sayings. But one saying I like he has, when you on a phone, sometimes people can get selective amnesia. That conversation like never happened. And even though some of these companies are supposed to record the calls, they don't. I mean, this little small company I'm at, I highly doubt they record those calls. They don't record the calls. I mean, and so I think that's another reason there's no accountability. If I call you and I say something crazy as hell to you, I never said that. Yeah, Monica, welcome. That's exactly. I put all my stuff in writing. I just do. And so when we got off the phone conversation with him hollering and screaming over the phone, the very first thing I did was put that in writing. I wrote and addressed his issues. I addressed my concerns. I told him what I thought. I told him my experience. I told him what I presumed and why my responses were what they were. And I'm sure it pissed him off. But I said the standard among most trucking companies is that this computer right here is put on board so that if there are any issues, load, breakdown, whatever, you can document it on this system. And that way they have document that you notify somebody, you reached out, you told something, and they have stamp times of this. Then I may call also. So yes, I do agree, but I always believe that you do, if you can do it in writing, do that first and then follow up with the call. I totally agree. Oh, I have here, I'll show you. My onboard computer is called PeopleNet. This is right here where they send me the messages about their loads. With this company, since it's small, he doesn't have macros or anything like that. This right here is my clock. This right here tells me what's going on with my uh this is like my how I do my time off or my excuse me, my day, my logs, and then this is giving me a snapshot of the graph log. And then you have other stuff on here. Yeah, it's a ELD. Yeah, pretty much. The onboard computer. So it's everything. But today, when I stepped off this truck, I parked it, I got off, I walked in, I hadn't even walked into the building, and the phone was ringing, and you're tracking to the degree where you're just looking for something. At that point in time, I'm done. And it's, you're welcome to do that. It is his company, and if he wants to micromanage and be control freaky and vengeful and whatever the hell else he's doing, welcome to do it. I'm not a fit for that. So you have to find where you're a fit. And you also have to find something. Safety's huge for me. If you have somebody doing that and that's mentally not within your zone of who you are, you need to move on because it's going to cause a level of stress. That level of stress can cause an accident. That's why people that get out here and they have an argument with their wife. I was just talking to somebody, and and the lady referred me here and saying we're talking about a situation, and she had worked for one company where the lady she met had got in an argument with her, was it a lady or man? I can't remember. Got an argument with the family member, and then had tore up the truck because they weren't concentrating on what was going on. They're all caught up into the drama. If I'm under somebody who's bringing drama or acting crazy or doing weird stuff, that brings drama into this environment. I'm good. I didn't have that at the starter company. My only issue with the starter company was equipment. Otherwise, equipment and pay. I wouldn't have, the pay wouldn't have been an issue if the equipment was better. Okay, so Oscar, you must have new drivers, and that's understandable if you have new drivers. I have a management background as well. I did management in business and finance and banking. So I used to manage what they call dispute escalation teams for banks. I also did management for one of the major phone companies, cell phone companies. Won't go into who that is. So I did management for them too. And that's because you have a new team. And I actually had done where you have new reps that are coming in the door managing them, and then you have the experienced reps. You're correct. Once the rep learns the job, gets it down to a science, you don't have to babysit them anymore. Also, out here in trucking, to me, you've got to, your driver manager can't come out here and drive this truck. That's number one. And if I'm an experienced driver and you've hired me with experience, then you need to let me use that experience. I'm not saying you can't give me feedback. I don't mind feedback from this guy. It's how he's doing it. And it's because it's very rude. What's up, Shay E? Did you say something you need me? Or are you just waving at me? Hold on, let me see if Shay E said something. Oh, you said true. Oh, you throwing the hands up. All right. Um, hey Monica. Um, back to Oscar. So thank you for being a driver manager in here. That's good. Um, I also know, putting a management hat on, it is critical to me, and I think one of the things that as drivers that we need from you guys is we need you to have some damn management training. I'm sorry. And I also think you need to also know that it's a partnership because our success is your success and your success is ours. I get my loads from you. I need you to maybe work out some things on the background that if I'm driving this truck, I can't work out. If I can handle it, I'm gonna handle it. But we need that joint environment. I also think one of the biggest downfalls that's happened in trucking is that driver managers have never driven a truck or never even ridden in a truck. Night transportation, if you can go to Nightlife through YouTube if you haven't seen it, and it's Nightlife like the name for night, their company Life, and they have people in their company go out on rides with the drivers. Granted, it's a short amount of time, but there was one that I really remember. It was a lady, I can't remember if she was their payroll or HR lady. She was so mad at a customer at how the driver was being treated because they did not know how we get treated out here sometimes. She was so mad she had to leave out of the building while the driver still handled the business for which they were there to deliver or pick up a load. I can't remember. And she talked about it on camera because they don't, if you haven't done this, you don't know all the hats that are being put on. And I know you got political hats in the office you're putting on. So you got to answer to your fleet manager, you got to answer to the planner. um, the planner might be on you because something about a broker load. You got to also worry about timely delivery. You got to worry about your safety stats. You've got certain metrics you also have to meet. I get it, Oscar, trust me. If you got a new fleet, then they need to make account. They need to give you the capability to deal with the new part. And you probably are juggling several because I know I was with a starter company, and that starter company, my driver manager went from I think 40 drivers to 80 drivers. And they're going through some financial things, and they're going through a merger, and a lot of stuff was going on. So a lot was added onto her plate. The baby girl was overwhelmed. I can't even imagine. I know that I had a call center team. I went from like 14 reps to 20 some reps. It's overwhelming. But once you have an experienced rep, set your expectations. Then it's up to that driver. And if you got a shitty driver, you're gonna know. I mean, I got to a point where my driver manager probably knew. I stopped caring at the last company. Every time I picked up a load, I didn't care if it was on time or late. And it was because Every time I picked up a load, the trailers were so raggedy, I'm in the shop. Then I get the load, start heading towards my destination, and you're going to T call it off me because after I go through all the work of picking it up, getting it fixed, dealing with the problems, I can only go so far. You're going to trade it off me because you want the load delivered at a certain time, and I lose my miles. It became frustrating, and I stopped caring. And it's not really, it was nothing she could do. Like she said, I have no, she had no control over it. I know she didn't. The issues were deeper, they were bigger. Our shop used to be 24/7. That stopped. I mean, there's issues that can happen, but I think the biggest issue with dispatch is A, you need to come out here if you haven't done it. B, sometimes people have done it and forgot who they what we go through out here. And then they get in that office and then they have to play they switch hats and they're a totally different person. And they forgot all the drama you go through out here. Um, but if you've got an experienced driver who's doing the job, they're communicating with you. I mean, I can show you pictures. They no shame in my, and I will probably after I leave here. I'll have to find a way not to give out their information, but I'll show you pictures of everything. I got one right now where I said I called the customer. I didn't contact you, the dispatcher. I'm telling you what I did. I called the customer. I've scheduled because my hours are this. The customer is this person who I spoke to, and they've got me rescheduled for tomorrow morning to pick this load up. Done. Done. I called the customer because I told the customer I won't have hours coming back to here. You guys are trying to tell me to be here or here. And the customer said they're open till 5 a.m. or 5 p.m. and they will go ahead and take me as long as I get there before then. Done. Now, I know from my starter company, most people don't do that. But here, I'm 6 years in. I have no problem doing that. Also, I know they don't have this particular place doesn't have a customer service team. Hold on, let me see. We track our trucks, but either way, I like to hear with a quick phone call from the driver that he checked in and everything is okay. Well, yeah, but I always do mine in writing. I like to do mine in writing. If I need to call, I call. The starter company I was at, because she was so overwhelmed, a lot of times they just really wanted on a Qualcomm. They could see the messages really quick. And to me, that's what this is for, the PeopleNet. It's easier for me to pull over and also have something documented that said, I did this, this, and this, or I'm running late because of this. And that's usually what I do. And I've also done it via text. So I also have his cell phone number. So I'm a texter. I don't want to be on a phone conversation with somebody. I don't, because when I'm dealing with business, this truck gets pulled over and stopped because if you start asking me questions, I got to pull down paperwork. I got to start going through my paperwork, talk to you about what's going on with the paperwork. I got to look at the message, see the time. I have my little, it's my scratch book, y'all. It's my, I stole it from my dad. Y'all see I write all that stuff on there. I had to go through my little scratch book. Y'all see? That's not somebody who's working. You're not gonna do all this. You're not gonna do all that if you're not working. So I gotta go through my scratch book. I gotta look at miles. I gotta look at times. Um, you know, I got a lot, like you see right here. This is what I talked to yesterday, Melissa. She rescheduled me to 8 a.m. This is my run number 26. These are the miles I started out with. This is where I was picking up that load at. Here's their phone number. You're not gonna do all that if you're not doing your job. You're just not. I'm running two GPSs. I have a third one I haven't even put up yet. I'm not going to put up in this truck, obviously. Um, but I have a third one that I haven't even put up yet in order to look at the best method to get somewhere. Also, trying to plan out where I'm stopping for the day, where I'm stopping probably for a 30-minute break. If I need to go to the bathroom, is there a truck stop near me? Is there a parking spot where I can go park and tinkle in the cup? I mean, this is a different lifestyle. And when you have that, like I said, my right now, if I wasn't working, I've been bringing checks home from these guys anywhere from 2 to 3 thousand every 2 weeks. If I wasn't working, I wouldn't be bringing that in. In addition, I've been running so much that my fuel, I've never hit platinum status at Love's. I'm fueling so much because I'm running so much that I'm platinum status at Love's. And guys, everybody in here knows. what it is to get to platinum at Love's. I mean, you're where's the receipt? I got a receipt with me. Hold on. I'll tell y'all right now. Hold on. Where's my receipt? Let's see what the receipt says. Okay. And I can't. Well, since I'm here, I'm already here. So right now, I'm 97 points away from hitting gold. 597 away from hitting platinum for next month. 1,097 from diamond. And we're what, in the second week of June? So if I would have kept with these guys, I would be at platinum again. Okay. I'm currently platinum this month. I was platinum last month. That's how much running I'm doing. Okay. Um. So this is yeah, it's disconcerting. And it's like I said, the other people at the company are fine. The other guy I deal with as a driver manager, if I could get him, I get two of him, I'd be cool. And I would just stay here. It's a small company. This is only 100 trucks. And then they're very manual. Everything's manual, and he don't want nothing automated. Zero. I go and buy trip packs. I just pay $25 for one trip pack, and they didn't even put that and they reimburse me, but I'm having to put this in, get to a box, drop it up. Whereas with my other company, I could take pictures, scan it, send it, and get paid for it. I'm over it. I'm over it. And like I said, I don't necessarily think he's a bad guy. I think obviously the control freaky thing, that's something more mental. Like I said, I have a mother who's the same way, and I know that it stems from something else. Those behaviors don't just come out and you get them. And working in office, Oscar, you already know you got all sorts of personalities in office, and that's one of the reasons I like driving the truck. I like the peace. Only thing else I want to hear is a four-legged dog. And that's what I'm looking for. And that's what one of the guys was asking on here. I forgot who just asked the question about the turnover, but the turnover and how often you go to different trucking companies. One of the things, and I will give my starter company what they were trying to do, they were looking at, yeah, I think he is narcissistic too. Um, they were looking at ways to try to make it better to retain drivers because of the 200,000 plus driver shortage in America right now, right? And this behavior that this man has is not the way to do it. But it's a small trucking company. It's his way or the highway. I mean, like I said, I can describe when I first walked in there. Everybody's nice. He was even nice. But everybody in that office, with the exception of the other guy who's my driver manager, who has 32 years in driving, he came off the road for family reasons. He's the only one in that office that's not family. All the rest of them are related. The safety guy is his son. The guy who does the outbound local stuff, does the local grocery store runs for the United Market, Albertsons, because they subcontract to a company who does that. That's his son-in-law, I believe. There's two other ladies there. I don't know how they're related, but they're related to him. He just brought in another young girl who's somehow related. I don't know if she's a niece or whatever. She's related. When you go to the shop, he's got, I think it's either a son-in-law, nephew, or somebody managing the shop. And while he's a very nice guy, he's not as technically savvy as the one he goes to all the time. He used to work for Freightliner. He goes to him and he always asks, his name's Larry. He always asks Larry, "Oh, let me talk to Larry. Let me talk to Larry." Then y'all need to put Larry in charge. You don't need to be in charge, because if you have to go to Larry for everything, there's a problem. There's a problem. Larry needs to be the one who's in charge, because Larry, and when anything goes wrong, I'll let Larry know. I'll let Larry know. Why can't you put Larry in charge? So there's a major control freaky thing with this guy. And then he's the dispatch manager. So the way it works, he does my dispatches out of Lubbock. And then I'm supposed to deal with David, who does my dispatches back into Lubbock. Whenever I do David gives me my load. I don't hear from David. It's unless I have a problem, me and David are cool. It's like he know I'm gonna do my job. I had to let him know I do my job. I also don't like lies from dispatchers. Don't tell me that the freight that's on the back of the truck is going to stop all of Tyson Amarillo from running, because I'm running behind because of all of the flooding going through Oklahoma to get to Emporia, Kansas, and I'm having to detour around a whole bunch of stuff. Again, the truck ain't going to sprout wings. I know all of Tyson Amarillo did not shut down. because of what was on the back of my truck. And when I got to Tyson Amarillo, they said just drop it on the line. So if it was all hellfire important, most companies tell you to put it in the door immediately. It wasn't all that hellfire important, and they were already running behind on some other stuff. So next, that's the worst too, and I will say that's one of my biggest things. That I will give, like I said, the starter company, the lady I had, and she comes on here. Her name's Becca. I will give her. She did never really lie. I don't ever recall her lying to me. She was pretty much what you see is what you get kind of chick. Um, I liked her straightforwardness, even if she, because when I bring something to her, she would be like, "I don't have any control. I there's nothing I can do about it. I can report it. I can bring it up in a meeting, but it's not anything that I can change." And I prefer you be that blatantly honest with me, and then to BS me. And if I told you there's an issue, she took the issue. We had a situation where she was lied to and I was lied to, and we went and did a favor for another driver manager. We went to pick up a trailer that was sitting. She says, "I need you to drop your trailer over here. You're gonna go get this other reefer that's sitting at Home Depot." I'm like, "Why the hell is a trailer sitting at Home Depot?" She's like, "Well, they said that something about," she said, "I had asked the same question or something like that. They said it had something to do with something that was delivered there on the reefer." I'm like, "Okay." And they left. It didn't make sense. Once I picked the reefer up and I hooked to it, I drove on down the road. Well, of course, I told you with this particular company, there was always reefer issues. We had electrical issues right off the bat with the reefer. All of my lights and everything on the back of the reefer as I'm driving it don't even work anymore. Um, the was it the I get the reefer off the lot, major problems with it. End up driving just a little ways up, get to a Love's, have to wait for them to open for them to fix my problems. While I'm waiting, I get a phone call from some supervisor lady, a breakdown, who says, "I'm showing you have trailer XYZ." I said, "Yes, ma'am." She's like, "Why do you have that trailer?" I said, "My driver manager sent me something, telling me to go pick the trailer up, and I'm supposed to take the trailer to go pick up Dan and Yogurt Yo. I was gonna pick up a Dan. I think it was a Dannon. It was one of them companies. Yo play Dan and one of them load up here in like Iowa, wherever." She goes, "Well, I'm calling because I have a breakdown report, and I'm supposed to be sending somebody out to fix issues with the trailer." I said, "Excuse me?" I said, "Well, I'm in the shop right now." She's like, "Yeah, I'm not calling about that issue. Have you turned the reefer on?" I said, "Yeah, it was throwing codes and I had to go in there and try to clear out codes until I got them gone." She said, "Have they come back up?" I said, "Not as of yet." It was throwing codes and some other, excuse me, y'all, I just burped and I burped in y'all ears. It was throwing codes about a whole bunch of stuff. So when me and the lady got through talking, I got her name because what I realized, she told me that in our call, I said, "So you mean to tell me that the company I work for just crapped on me? Y'all just left me with somebody else's BS." She then tells me, "Well, the reason we were going to send somebody out is the driver manager told us that he had to get that driver to go get this other load. So he told the driver just to drop it in the lot of Home Depot and to take off and go get this other load, and they would get somebody else to go to deal with it." He sent a message to my driver manager to have me go get this because Home Depot was apparently calling about this being sitting in their yard. Of course they are. I'm thinking it was a Home Depot. We're talking about a Home Depot store, guys. It wasn't even near where Doc was. It was like parked in the damn parking lot. They just dropped this. So now, as I said, I'm in the shop at Love's getting this reefer fixed, which now has me late to the other load that I'm supposed to pick up. And then I called my driver manager. I said, and I went off on her because I thought she knew. I'm like, "I don't like to be played games with. If you know that something is broken and you're going to send me to get it, you need to tell me that up front. I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, but to lie to me and manipulate me pissed me off." She goes, "I have no idea what the hell you're talking about." And I knew, and she went into a meeting with her boss. They had like a long meeting. And I sent her the email. I sent her all this woman's information. They all she was going from her desk for about an hour on my stuff. And she's like, "You understand, this doesn't just affect you, it affects me because I need you to be somewhere." And somebody has lied not only to you but to me because they told me this was here and you were the closest driver. Oh, they just took a big dump, cracked open their butt, and took a dump on your driver and you then. And I believe she was in a meeting because she was gone from her desk for a minute because I went to call her back and she was gone. Her partner answered. And I know just like she in a meeting right now with XYZ, XYZ, and XYZ. And then next thing I know, I had emails from I think I got an email from the terminal guy and somebody else regarding who I spoke to, what had transpired. I, yeah. So it's a lot of game in trucking. Everybody trying to one up each other, and that's the other problem. Instead of us just out here doing our jobs. Let me see what else we got in here. Monica, welcome to the channel. Would you? You said Tyson Emerald 11. I just dropped the trailer. Go to BWWFJ back in the morning. you, I mean, usually, in case of Tyson Amarillo, am I lying? You go if you've been there because Monica looks like you've been there. You drive in. Oh, by the way, one of Junior's trucks was there. Junior Honduras, the blue truck was there. I got some pictures. I went around to see if it was him, and then I realized oh, it's the blue truck. So it was one of his drivers from Prime. And he's got his little Honduras, all his stuff on there. But I got pictures of it. I'll put it up on another video. At the Tyson Amarillo, matter of fact. But yeah, tell me that's not the truth. You go in, they tell you to drop it, and then you usually if you dropping something loaded, you drop it and keep rolling. They didn't care. Oh, Monica, I had never had a problem with Tyson Umbrella. I liked them. I'd never had any problems. When I first started doing their loads, they were always early. So I'd go early. The guy would tell me to be there at 10 in the morning. I'd be there. I just call. And see, that's the other thing. I call the customer. I'm like, hi, I'm so and so, and I'm looking. This is my pickup number. Is that load ready right now? If they say yeah, I said I'm on my way. I didn't care if I'm pickup is 10 and that load was ready the night before. I'm going to grab that load. I want to be ahead of the game. I go grab my load and get on up the road. That way, if I run into any issues, I still can possibly be on time. And see, I was doing that in the very beginning. I had heard that Tyson Amarillo had some because the lady who used to work here, who referred me in, she said that it was bad. I'd never had any problem. Oh, thank you, Oscar. I appreciate it. I never had any problem. Um, and y'all can see I ain't got a lot to you. Let me tell you how much I deal with Tyson Amarillo. Hold on. Hold on. This is the phone that I use for them. And let me show you. I'm gonna see if y'all can see this. This is the guy I send the messages to. Okay, I'm sending him video of the freeway being flooded in Amarillo. This is all to him. You guys only see some of the pictures. Okay, hold on. I send pictures. This is to him of any issues I see on the reefer. If I see scratches, dents, you see that? I send pictures to him. Any issues? So I don't want to think y'all think I'm lying to you that I don't communicate with this man. I do. I send pictures of the loads to show that they delivered okay and in good shape, not shifted. You see that? This is a picture of damage on the trailer I picked up. Okay. Now, I didn't only do this to him, that he asked for this, but I also used to do it to the starter company I was with. Okay. Now, let's go back to, let me see if I can find it. All right. So that picture right there, I know it's hard for you to see. I don't know if y'all can see it. You might not be able to see it right now. All right. You see that? You see the call? Tyson Amarillo. This is what I was telling you about, where he told me the load was ready at 8 o'clock. You see the 5 o'clock? It's kind of turned around on here. And the 8 o'clock. I called twice on this phone. I also called from this phone. So I don't need to lie to you. This is a screenshot. Let me do this to it. Let me see. I'll make it go back down. That's the screenshot. Okay. I opened it up from the screenshot that I have going to him. See? So I ain't got to lie to you. I'm telling you what I've done. That way you I communicate. So when he's on the phone screaming at me, talking about you've not responded, what are you talking about, bro? I got lines of documents. Do you have a specific date that you're telling me I didn't return a call or I didn't respond back to you? If you do, I'll go into my phone and do a screen capture. You're telling me that that kind of character right there is not returning your calls. That doesn't even make sense. But I deal with Tyson. I deal with Tyson and Amarillo so much. I have them programmed into my phone, their phone number programmed in. I have the gate number and the main number to that facility because I'll call if I'm in Lubbock and they tell me to be up in Tyson Amarillo. I call and I say I'll be, boom, boom, boom. I call them. So that's just it doesn't matter. And just like this customer, I got my hours ran out because I ended up and I can't. I don't have it on that. I don't have it on this one. It's on this phone. A beautiful view. But literally, when I got there, I'm like, oh my God, where am I going to move this truck to? They sent me to a resort with linen out of Vegas. I get there, there's no docks. Only thing I see to my left is a lot where I see a little construction thing and some construction guys. To my right is a neighborhood. I ain't got crap to do a turnaround in this truck. I'm like, oh my God. No instructions. Okay. I turn up in that dirt lot, sandy dirt lot, praying not to get stuck. And then I all this back and you screaming at me on the phone talking crazy. Well, if there would have been well, is that what you called about? Was there an issue? You need to put that on here. If you can call the office ASAP, why can't you put issue with load? Called. It wasn't about that. It was about something. It's about the little boy syndrome or whatever you got going on with your temper and control freaky stuff. But we need to talk about this load because that's what I'm dealing with right now. I don't need with your temper tantrum and screaming. We need to deal with this because I'm trying to help the customer get their load. I'm also here at 7 o'clock. The load delivers at 8, so I'm also trying to be on time. So I don't know if they have some people. It was a mess, but I delivered the load in a dirt lot where they had to pull the truck up. The what is it? And I actually have to give him credit because I was like, that you deserve your job. He's assistant manager of the resort. He's in his suit pants, suit shirt, suit and tie, and his nice dress shoes in the sand, orchestrating unloading the back of that 53-foot trailer full of linen and putting it in these containers that they had sitting on the lot in which they're going to be building more condos. Like, okay, I hope you earning your money. I hope they pay you well because you doing the damn thing. You're doing it. Mhm. And then I had suggested to go over to the little construction people, which they had nothing association with. I said he's got a forklift; he can pull that off of this truck, because what you was it would have took them it would have took them hours with the way they were going to have to do it to get the stuff off the truck. We're talking pallets and all, no dock. They had no forklift. The only thing they had was a pallet jack. That was it. 53 feet worth of linen. And this much of the trailer at the end, he said, well, at least it's not all the way to the back door. I said, it's damn near to the it's damn near to the back door. How you getting this off, sir? He's like, well, do you unload it? I said, do I look like I'm able to unload that? He goes, oh. He said, well, let me see what I can do. You work that out, bro. It's madness. But when then he went over, and I guess somehow he talked to that guy, and he's like, he gave me a thumbs up. He says he's gonna help us. I said, normally, he takes construction. It's gonna take him all of 10, 15 minutes to help you get that stuff off the back. And all you gotta do is sit on the ground and then y'all work it out. And that's exactly what he did. He moved all them pallets, boom, boom, boom on the ground. That's it. I'm sorry, some of y'all. One magical girl. Thank you and welcome to the channel. And I'm sorry if I missed anybody. I've been telling my story. Let me go back here, please. Don't take offense. And Oscar, welcome to the channel because I think this is their first time on here. And thank you for just being so interactive. I'm happy to get a driver manager on here. Hire me as your dispatcher. I got you. Well, Oscar, send me to Trucker Doll. My name is Trucker Doll at gmail.com. You can send me who you're with in the background. I don't want you saying it on here because I don't want I don't know if your company's funky about that. Send it to Trucker Doll and I'll let you know. Average miles, hold on. Give me a second. Let me pull up. I can tell you with the starter company, I was about 2,500. Normally for me, 2,500 a week is really good miles for me. I'm happy with that. But here, let me see what I've got. One thing he does do, which I like, he does give you percentage of stops. So I get 40% of the stop. And let me see. Give me a second here. Let me see if I can pull up a paycheck. Because I think it should give me this recent paycheck. She missed two of my things. Let's see what we got. Hold on. Let me see if I can search it out. Let me see if I can search by her name. Okay. So March 29th was my first check with them. I don't know if they give me total miles. Let me see. I'm looking. Hold on. I think this is total miles for my first check. And this would have been, I thought it was like, when did I start? This would have been from, let me turn it this way. So 312, I think, was my first check. My first run with them. So from 312 until 319. And let me see if I can get this. Hold on. 312 to 319. Where is it at? And that way you can see. I'm gonna see if you can see it. Let me try to make it bigger. 312 to 319, if that helps you. My loaded miles were 3,160. My empty miles were 249. So I don't know if that helps you. That's the first trip. Okay, that was my first run with these guys. And hold on. Give me a second here. Trying to see. So for that mileage pay, and this was for 2 weeks. Uh, hold on. Trying to see. Give me a second here. So the total trip wages, and this was like I said, it wasn't. That's for 2 weeks. This is for 2 weeks. Or I'm gonna say 2 weeks. Well, it might not have been 2 weeks, but from that date to that date, which wasn't bad, was about just around 1,500 because it wasn't really a full 2 weeks. I got paid a partial period. So, but I mean, you get paid every 2 weeks. So this was a 2 week paycheck. Then, and I don't. I mean, I have no shame in my game. Let me go back. I think was this the really big one? Hold on. Let me just see. I think this is the one with the stop pay. And this is the one where I realized they pay you percentage of stops, which is nice. And you guys can look and see. So we get percentage of stops, see 40%. And my stop pays were anywhere. So you get a stop. Not only did they pay me for stop on the stop, they pay me for the delivery for the stop. That's one of the things I did like is the money's right when he does stuff like that. Like you see that last stop was $140. 100 for either the pickup and then the delivery, and you see percentage. He pays you 40% of whatever his agreement is with that company of the stop. So I get percentages on stops, and I like that. I thought that was good because I've never had a company pay that kind of money for stops, and we do a lot of stops for the produce. I do like I could have 4 or 5. I could have 6 stops of produce to bring back to Lubbock to United Grocers. So, and I think this was my big check. This was, let me see if this was this the big one. Let me look. Hold on. I think this is the big one. So this one was a should have been a full firm. So this one would have been from 3/23. So this would actually give me a full 2 weeks to 4/8 or 4/9. And this is my run. So this way you can see. Now this is a full 2 weeks, Oscar, so you can see it. Okay. You're asking the question. So I'm gonna turn it around. All right. My loaded miles were 6,238 miles for 2 weeks. My empty were 611. I know it's hard to read. And so it's a total of 6,849 miles. See that? If you can see it. And my trip wages was $3,153 and some change. That was my largest check I've had with them. Every other check has pretty much been around 2 grand. So at least a 2 grand something, somewhere in the 2 grandish range, somewhere between 2 and 20, anywhere between two and I would say $2,500. And I've taken some time. So thank you. Yeah, I've been running. When I say I've been running with this guy, I've been running, and I usually only come back to do a reset. And see, normally how I like to run, but he doesn't do it because we come back and reset all the time. How I like to run is I like to just run five weeks out and even do my resets over the road and then take 5 days off. That's what I like because to me that lets me get off the truck, have a full week to handle my stuff, anywhere from 5 to 6 days. My starter company was starting to have problems with us doing that. They're talking about, oh well, if you take more than 3 days and you have I was like, honey, if I turn my truck in, I'm gonna be unpacking everything off this damn truck. That's just insanity. My other issue with him is I want a company where I can home time where the hell I want to home time. So I have family. I because I pretty much live off the truck. I'm stacking dollars. I'm single. I don't have no kids. So I'm stacking dollars. I'm not trying to I pretty much live off the truck. I mean, now that I'm down in Lubbock, I stay with my father when I'm home, or I stay at a hotel if I don't want to deal with him. But I pretty much run that 5 weeks, and it doesn't make any sense to pay $1,400 a month for apartment rental. I can stack that dollars, invest those dollars, and then I can buy property cash. So I've got some plans going on up here of what I want to do. So yeah, girl, they answer the phone, but I'm not. You know what? V Griffith, you crazy. And one time he told me so. Well, call me. I said, well, why would I call you? Hey, April, what's up, baby? Why would I call you in the middle of the night when I can just text you or something that you can't fix until because he couldn't. I had a situation in Wisconsin. So I was up in Wisconsin to get cheese. The trailer that I took up to that area, well, I took a trailer into California. Then they're like, well, Shay, we got to run for you. And because I guess a lot of their drivers don't like driving certain corridors. I don't mind. I love driving up to Oregon and Washington State. That's like my favorite damn drive. It's just, I love it. Those two, my two favorite states to drive. I don't mind driving the Rockies. It's a long drive. It's a tiring drive, but I drive the hell. I can drive the Rockies. I'm a safe driver of the Rockies. I'm not like that fool that went down there and killed them 4 people. I don't not like the cowboys that I see flying through the Rockies because one bad too fast down the Rockies is gonna be your ass. And unfortunately, this young kid, 23 years old, that was his ass, and now he's gonna spend his entire life in prison unless he goes back to his country and doesn't come back to court. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm not being mean. I'm just being real. And so what the Rockies aren't no joke. There's a couple of mountains that just ain't no joke. My home state, Flagstaff, you need to respect Flagstaff Mountain because on Flag, the way that mountain works, going towards New Mexico, that right side, if you lose your brakes on that, you just might as well just jump out and say, "Wee, coming home, Jesus," because there's nothing. You're gonna go right off the edge. With the Rockies, you got a half-ass chance, but you might take some people out. And so, because the Rockies, a lot of people, I remember when I first went in there, they made it sound like there's some broken trucks. Ain't no, that, unless that stuff just happened, it ain't no broken trucks. But the Rockies issue is the length of the grades, the steepness of the grades, and you got to lock in the gear. You got to lock that gear in. You got to put them jakes on, and you can't be going too fast because you'll burn your damn brakes out. Me and my student, we saw a truck driver burning his brakes on Donner. They were smoking. And dude steady driving. Didn't had no clue. That's the other thing. Drivers, use your two damn mirrors. I be looking, look, I look over, right, left. Granted, most of us are left mirror dependent, but every so often I glance over, even if I'm sitting in the right lane, because it could be a tire blown, if the tire could be burning. My driver manager I had for the starter company, one of her drivers, another driver had to tell him his tire was on fire. How the hell you driving in your? That mean you ain't using your mirrors. This is what you doing. Foot to the floor. Ain't paying attention to not crapping either of the mirrors. There is no. Hey, crazy trucker. I almost burned my Rican whistle. Yeah, okay, yeah. Virginia's another one. I don't like doing the East Coast as much. Although you do have Smiley's Field City. I'm fluffy. Smiley's Field City, y'all. If y'all ever in West Virginia, over by the Petro, that Smiley's Field City, the barbecue is off the chain. Visit that. Yeah, well, Shay, I learned something from Trucker Bill when I first started driving because I was nervous with grades. I wasn't. I had issues with heights. I overcame my fear of heights driving a truck. And Bill told me the same gear you go up in that mountain is the same gear you come down in that mountain, or one gear less. Okay, and that is truth. If you follow that wisdom, you'll be fine. Because if the truck climbed with whatever weight it was on, in let's say eighth gear in an automatic, then guess what? When you crest the hill, lock that damn gear in, put them jakes on the highest jakes, and if you go even one gear less, this is what I do. And it's what and more. I can't do it as much in the automatic as I did in a manual. I put my feet on the floor like I'm sitting on the stool taking a dump, and hold it and go down the hill. I hate to say it's like that, but that's how you feel. You're like just sit like this, and I hardly ever touch my brakes. That rule, you should you if you put yourself in the right gear going down a heavy grade, you should barely have to touch your brakes two or maybe two or three times, if at all, depending on if you locked it in right. On a manual, especially. Automatic, you may have to touch your brakes more, but manual, definitely. Oh, you okay? You sound like the lady who referred me here. She told them if they gave her automatic truck, she'd fall out on the floor and roll around, and because she fat, they couldn't get her up off the floor. I've driven both. I'm trained in automatic. I mean, I'm trained in a manual. That's what I learned on. 10 speed was what I learned on back in 2009. I drove that for my first portion in trucking. I used to feel like because I was the same way. All my cars were manual cars. I have I ever owned an automatic? I've never owned an automatic car other than my Grumpy's. I had Grumpy's piece of crap leftover car when I left here. But other than that, I've never owned, and I didn't own it. It's still his car. I am a fan of automatic trucks. I probably am now that I'm older, probably even a fan of automatic cars. But I used to be more about manuals because you have more control. There are certain control that you do have in a manual, whether it's an automatic car or I mean, whether it's a truck or car. But in trucking, I am in love with the automatic. I'm in love with it in cities such as California. No, actually, let's not go city. California, all of California. I'm in love with it when I go to places like Chicago, Illinois. I'm in love with it if I'm in places like Houston, Texas, or Dallas, Texas. I'm in love with it wherever there's some heavy ass traffic and it's stop and go. The automatic is your freaking friend. It saves your knees. There's a whole bunch with it, and I know a lot of people. I didn't think I was gonna like it, but after I did automatic, I was like, I'm so good. I am in love with the automatic. Now on the mountains, I will give you it is I like it, but I would prefer at times a manual on a mountain. But in a mountain now, something the Volvo has that I don't know if any of the newer, because the newest Freightliner I drove was a 2019. My Freightliner did not have this, but the Volvo has it. It's called Hill Assist. And it's automatically when this truck goes into an incline like this, it locks Hill Assist in. And what Hill Assist does is keep it from rolling back. That is a phenomenal feature that needs to be added to every freaking automatic truck. That I give them. Now, what I don't like about this truck is it has what they call I shift. What iShift is, it does not have a true manual shift mode. And most of your automatics, by the way, like your Freightliners, I think KW too. I've been in a KW for a test drive, but I don't remember. I think it does too, but I know um Monica, yeah, I do love the Volvo. My favorite truck is still a Freightliner. The two, especially the 2019s, the newer, I love them. But my favorite truck is still a Freightliner. I for several reasons. The Jakes on the Freightliner, beast mode. The Jakes on the Freightliner will park that damn truck. Jake number three will stop a moving truck and park it on the freeway. That Jake number three ain't no joke on the freaking Freightliner. It is your friend. The Jakes on the Volvo suck. Big wind. Suck, bite, they horrid. They're not strong enough to me. Jake 3 and whatever that one is, they have another gear on it. It's horrible. They're horrible. The I shift, I hate the I shift. The reason I don't like the I shift is because you almost have to stop the truck to get it to go into the right gear. You got to get your RPMs down, plus get the speed down, and to get it to slow down. And the way our testosterone cowboys ride up on your ass, if you stop too suddenly when you're getting ready to crest, they damn near are going to hit your ass. They get pissed off at you, but it's the only way to get it to go down into the gear that you want in order to lock in the I shift. I don't like that. I don't like that. Whereas in my automatic 2019 Volvo, I mean Freightliner, all I had to do was shift. I because it has the capability to shift down automatically. I just had to shift down, and it would auto shift itself down to the gear, and then I'd lock it. I'd lock and leave it in that gear, and then take the mountain down, and then wonderful jakes that it had. So that's my big thing. As far as the ride on the Volvo, as far as the turning radius on the Volvo, love. Now, in the single sleeper, I don't have enough storage space. I wish I would have had a double sleeper, but it's okay. It's going back anyway, so I'm not worried about it. So like normally my front seat is cleaner. Right now, my front seat is what usually is on my top bunk. My dirty clothes are over here. I have a little storage bin sitting in front. That usually would be on top where I would keep like my little food snacks or whatever. All that's sitting up here in the front now. So I am not a fan of the single sleeper Volvo, but the ride on it is phenomenal. A lot of features I do like. Only thing I don't like is the Jake suck. Everything else is cool. Guys, we've been on here a minute. Oh, Monica, you in the Freightliner? Yeah, that Freightliner, that Jake 3. You don't really need to use it because one and two are so strong. But that's what I said. Jake 3. That tells you how strong they are. Jake 3 is so strong on the freaking Freightliner, it will park the truck on the freeway. I had to tell my student that. I said we don't use Jake 3. I said if you'd have to be on a really heavy incline for me to tell you to use Jake 3 because it will stop this truck. So one and two are the best. Yeah, and it's not that so and that's why I tell most students, I said if you see that says no engine brakes, they're not really talking to you. They're talking to these buttholes that got them jakes that do that loud noise, and wake up the whole neighborhood. That's what they talking to, Mr. Testosterone, and wants you to know he's coming through because he's this short and I want to be a manly man being down the truck. So I'm gonna go and thinking I'm a dude. Oh, get the hell out of here with that. Pro, really? Yeah, they're really quiet. You can use them. I've heard about cab overs. Trucker Bill started out, "Hey Rochelle, what's up, baby?" Um, the well, I'll talk about the comfort in a minute. I will say that bunk in the back on the Volvo. Oh my God, that mattress that they come with on this Volvo, that mattress is the truth. In the Freightliner, I gotta add shit to the mattress to make it comfortable, but in the Volvo, and I'm 400 pounds. In the Volvo, I get in there and I'm like, it's a whole nother. So, ooh, you going to Nevada? Hey, go to that restaurant I went to. It's in the Neba, whatever. If you can stop, just park at whatever truck stop, and then I did a lift from there. It was about $20 for my lift, and I lifted down to it. But if you park downtown, like if you park at TA, I don't know what's going on with TA because don't forget they building that big old stadium down there. I haven't been to that TA since that stadium has been being built, so I don't know how they working that out. And but if you go to that TA and you get a park there, you'll be right in the heart, and won't be too far from where the from where that for Chinatown. The Chinatown was on hit. I wouldn't mind going. I didn't know they had a Chinatown in Vegas, but yeah, that Chinatown in Vegas was on hit. I hope to get back through there. See, I want to home. That's what I'm saying. That's the other thing. He babysits his trucks. So like, I remember I asked for an extra day off, and he's like, "Bring the truck to the yard and leave it there." I mean, just the way he talks to you is just like you're. I'm like, what the hell? I'm not. I'm doing no wheelies up in the truck. Only in Lubbock's not that big, so you can get 15, 20 minutes to the edge of town. The truck goes from usually where I go. If I decide to stay on the truck, and I like sometimes to stay on the truck and clean the truck up, even though I'm back in Lubbock and Grumpy's there. So the truck normally goes from delivery at the United Distribution Center, which is Yano. There, I would go over to Rip Griffin's. Sometimes I take it up the street, which isn't even 2 blocks away, to the laundromat, and I can stop at the house if I need to, go to the bathroom, get some bleach or whatever, hop in the truck, go right there because the laundromat is literally not even a half a block from my father's house. They have people trucks, Swift parks there. Who's this other one? WFX parks over there. There's some cattle haulers. They park there and they go do their laundry. So I bobtail over there, take my laundry in, and yeah, it's a lot with this guy. And I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. It's too big of a shortage, and there's too many other companies where I'm gonna have. You're gonna have to give something. Unfortunately, like I said, I love the APU. I love having the fridge on the truck. I preferred my Freightliner because I had a bigger fridge. My fridge for my Freightliner is in storage right now, and it's just a Walmart refrigerator, apartment size refrigerator. I love that refrigerator, and I have 2 microwaves now. I got the microwave here, and I got the microwave in Arizona from where my Freightliner. But it's just fine. If I'll just leave it at my dad's, if his microwave ever goes out, he can have it, or I'll take it to somewhere else. Oh, magical girl, I'm sorry you can't drive anymore. Monica, you met me at Rip Griffiths? Oh, you may meet me at Rip Griffiths. My father's there every morning, girl. Grumpy is there every morning as soon as they open up. He's there every morning. If you know you're gonna be at Rip Griffin's, you need to send me a text message if you know ahead of time. And I might get up early with Grumpy and come over to Rip Griffin's and meet you. And we have breakfast. Cause he's there every morning for breakfast at Rip Griffin's. Crazy trucker, I'm gonna doubt that. I don't think that it's gonna come to an end. And I do think it's a desperate act for them letting the 18-year-olds come in, the under 21s come in. Um, I do not believe it is going to end the shortage. I think the shortage is going to continue. And a lot of reasons it's going to continue is because the new breed of human, like what I'm dealing with right now at 50 some years old, they're not about this kind of BS dealing with somebody like this. They don't. A lot of them are still living at home with mama and daddy. A lot of them, unfortunately, and I'm sorry for y'all who may be on here younger and y'all don't like what I'm about to say, but a lot of you have not been taught work ethic. And there's some people even my age that don't have work ethic, but a lot of the newer generation of people, you guys have not been taught work ethic. You have kind of a expectation and privilege thought process, and I believe that that is in trucking. You can't come in here with that because you are basically, as Trucker Bill said, he works for Ashley, and Ashley was used to be riding their drivers like this, doing this stupid stuff like this guy, and he said they realized they had high turnover, and they realized after they sat down and talked to drivers who had left and what was going on, they tell them, "You are the captain of the ship. You're the captain of this ship. Just let us know what's going on. We'll work with you." Once that's happening, they've noticed they have driver retention now. I think it's going to go up more. I think eventually, though, the other problem that's going to happen to solve the problem, we're going to come in. They're going to come in with the automated truck, with the driverless trucks. Now, I don't think that there's not going to be a driver initially. I think there's going to have to be a person who is trained to look at the gauges, almost like a pilot. So I think that what's going to be required to be in this industry inside of a truck now is going to be almost a technical or college type degree, similar to an engineer of a train, a pilot for a plane. I think it's going to take that kind of training. And I think that that is then when you're going to see maybe an increase because the money also is going to increase for somebody to be behind the wheel doing that. But they're going to cut costs in other ways. A, if you have a driverless truck, it may be more fuel efficient than even what we are now. B, if you have the driverless trucks, uh, depending on how that works out, you don't may not need as many drivers, so team drivers are gone. You don't really need team drivers. And if you set an alert system where the captain or pilot can actually go to sleep while the truck is actually driving, and there's alarms that that person can get up and check on things, if that's pretty much what they'll do. And so you lose now teams, you don't need those anymore, saves you money there. You could have that one driver and that truck continually drive and pay them. So even if they get paid a higher amount of money, they're getting that like an engineer from the railroad. I do believe it's coming. Oh, the automated truck you think is years away? Monica, I'm going to disagree with you. I think it's not far away at all. Right now, they've been doing some testings. Yes, it's part, but I'm gonna tell you how I know it's not too far down the road. Georgia is actually right now in part of their infrastructure for the interstate is creating a truck only lane. I read this in an article a while back. In the article they talked about, oh yeah, this truck only lane, and then they said it's to help us prepare for the automated truck. You're not spending that kind of money in infrastructure if you don't know it's coming. It's coming. That's not a doubt in my mind. It is coming. And a lot of these people who only this is only thing, the only skill set you have, I hate to say they're gonna get butt hurt. You need to be getting some other you need to be pocketing that money away, investing your money and start trying to get into some other stuff because it's coming. Girlfriend, it's around the corner. I'm gonna have to get off here soon because I need to take my ass to sleep. It's coming. It's around the corner. It's not that far. And it actually is going to help with the shortage. And it's going to be a desperate move, but companies are going to be, and then you also, it cuts other things too. Will you need as many driver managers if you have an automated system? No, no, you won't. You probably won't even need as many planners. So you cut a lot of your staff right out the bat. So you cut drivers, you lose some of them, and you also cut driver managers right out the bat. Those two right there, I can tell you, are gone. They're gonna get driver managers are gonna be hit huge. You don't need a driver manager to manage who, the truck. And if you have somebody who's like a pilot, they may have one person they report to, and that pilot could report to a person who handles 200, 300 people because everything is automatic. You're not gonna. It's just like the railroad. It's gonna be just like the railroad. Yeah, I'm getting ready to pass out. Hold on. Federal Motor Carrier will micromanage those trucks like they do the drivers now. They are okay. So real quick on the automated trucks, and y'all got me in all kind of conversations today. On the automated trucks, what I do know is that they are looking. I listen to Road Dog Trucking a lot. So if you guys, any of you guys who are in the industry, are you interested? Road Dog Trucking on Sirius Satellite Radio is pretty good. I haven't listened to it lately. I've been listening to a lot of Urban View Radio because they've been on investment stuff that is really interesting. And somebody left me something about the Susu, which I brought up, and we'll talk about that in another video. But on Road Dog Trucking, I do know that they are looking into rules and regulations for. That's another way you know it's coming. They're looking into rules and regulations for the automated truck. They're already reviewing and looking at setting that up. It's coming. Don't ever think it's around. It's coming. And it's gonna be a lot sooner than you think. It's just like when they started testing automatics. I remember when the automatic truck when I was coming in and everything was pretty much manual, right? And a few fleets had the automatic truck. Next thing right now, you got trucking companies. They getting rid of all their manuals and going automatic because the fuel economy is better on the automatic than it is on the manual. And that's because guess what? Drivers aren't the ones controlling the shifting. The truck is. Not a bad idea. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna be honest. I don't smoke. I've never smoked marijuana a day in my life. Never used any illegal drug. The only drugs I've ever done is the drugs that are prescribed to me by a doctor. or if I had surgery. That's it. And again, that's medical, right? I haven't had any other I know drugs. But marijuana, it is going to be legal throughout all of the US very soon. Done. They started with medical, now they made it legal for other stuff. It's gonna be so you might want to invest in it, even if you're not. I'm not a user. I struggle with the legal, but are the medical marijuana? I don't like the legal at all. I think that's the worst thing ever. But it's coming. So if you know it's coming and you need to invest and make some money, boom, there it is. It's coming. It's gonna be throughout all the US. It's gonna be throughout all the US. So if you can find the company, let me tell you how I know how it's gonna be through all the US. So Lubbock is Texas is a Bible Belt, right? I'm down in Lubbock just recently. I'm watching the news. My father doesn't watch the news like as much as I do. I'm watching the local news. A group of Texas farmers are like they're trying to get the laws changed because I guess they had put some prohibitive laws about growing hemp. Y'all, what's hemp associated with? Marijuana. These guys are trying to get that changed because they know what's coming is that marijuana is going to be legal and it's going to be better. It's going to be like tobacco. Guess what? I'm going to make more money as a farmer growing some weed than I am doing the growing that corn. So I need to. So we're gonna see if we can get these laws changed. So if I can grow hemp, I can grow weed. That's exactly what that is. I'm sitting up there looking at this, going, yeah, everybody's getting prepared. Y'all better watch and read between them lines. It's different, but the growing part of it is very similar. It's different, but the growing of it is very similar. I understand hemp can be used for clothing and ropes and shoes. I love hemp shoes. I had some hemp shoes that were off the chain and other stuff, hats and scarves and all that. I get that. But what I'm saying is they're preparing. If I can grow hemp, I can grow marijuana. The idea is still the same. The growing of the plant is virtually the same. So that's what's about to happen. So all these Texas farmers down here in Lubbock, they group up and is trying to get permission to grow hemp so they can begin to prepare for what's coming next. Legal marijuana and they can grow it and sell it. I already know. Come on. All of a sudden you just like, "Ooh, I want to grow some hemp. I want to be hippie-ish. I need to grow some hemp so we can make some scarves and shoes." No, they're growing hemp in order to prepare for what they're going to grow next. I'm like, "Come on, y'all. Stop playing with me." I don't know about that. I know the medical part. I know they have the medical one, and then they have the ones that are legal in certain states. But what's going to happen is there right now they have penny stocks available where you can actually invest in these companies that are growing for these areas, and you also can invest in companies who may end up getting their licensure to sell either the medical and or the legal ones in the states or those who are waiting for states to get approval. So it's coming. It is coming. Like I said, automated trucks. We were already driving an automatic truck. Most of us who went to trucking school back in the day we didn't even put our thoughts together that there would ever be an automatic truck with all the things we did just to learn how to drive a truck. Hey Teacup, what's up? Welcome to the channel. Yeah, I'll probably do a live once I get back into Lubbock. Right now. Yeah, there's a lot. Teacup is absolutely right. There's a lot of right now different companies out there. Definitely research before you invest to invest in on the penny stock side. Baynard, who used to be one of our senators, if you're on Facebook, he actually does a video talking about companies to invest in. So he's a proponent for the whole marijuana thing. I didn't know it, but I actually downloaded his video and I haven't watched it yet. But I get information from them. But there's different ones you can look at, and you definitely want to research and make sure you get a decent one. And like I said, maybe invest $100 or whatever, and see what goes. Because once it opens up, you can make some. I think you can make some good money. I mean, it's really about that. I hate to say it, and I'm not a proponent. I've never been a proponent for. Ugh, but V. Griffith speak on it because the sad part is that is going to be, well, I don't know. I'm going to say I don't know because you do have places like in Canada. I think Canada has legal, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think there's issues with it. I get maybe the medicinal side of it, and I struggled with that for a long time. Um, but when I started thinking about like when I had my surgery when I was sick, and I went in for the surgery and I had to come out, I was on something called Demerol, and that's it's all that stuff comes off of like narcotics and stuff like that. So it came from what was at one point and may still be considered an illegal substance that they sometimes use to help us get through pain, which is another reason why some things like opioids and all that are so addictive, is because they come from a line of drugs that we've considered illegal. So it took me a while to kind of put two and two together and say, okay, I see that. I have a problem with the smoking it. I'm figuring, put it in a something, a tablet form or something. I'm weird. The whole marijuana thing has never been my thing. I've been past people who smoke. It stinks to me. I don't want nothing to do with it. But you know, some of them are as low as $5 to me. That's cheap. Teacup, that's cheap. Yeah, so I'm gonna be downloading Cat Eye sent me an app and I think I'm gonna install that once I get everything settled with the changes that are coming. I was gonna start that next month, and so I guess I'm gonna have a bunch of changes coming all together between the mid and beginning of next month. And I'm gonna do y'all told y'all I'm gonna do the $5 thing. I'll give you more details. Anybody who wants to kind of join in that in our virtual world here and see how you do. And maybe what we do is we do the end of the year to count and see how much we make. What I normally do is every pay period I have about $100 in cash I take out every week, and that's what I pretty much use while I'm rolling. But it usually lasts me about a week and a half. I do use my debit card from time to time, but every week I do about $100, and then what in cash. I like to have cash, and what I'll do is daily. Well, if I have a $5, at least one $5 a day, I'm gonna drop that in my change bucket with my change. And I in all my change I take, I don't reuse my change. I put it in that bucket. And then at the end of probably let's say I'm gonna probably say December, I'll see what I have in there. And so what I'm doing is daily, if I have any, if I go into let's say I go in here to the truck stop and I'll get a drink and I break a 20 and or 10 or whatever and I have a five come back, that'll go in the bucket for that day. And I only do one five because you do if you do every five, you'll be broke. But I'll do one five probably a day or a week. We'll figure out. I have to think of how I'm gonna do it. I've seen the challenge other people do it. And one lady, I think she said at the end of the year she went and bought a car cash. I was like, that's genius. Now I might take part of it and invest it or something like that, but I think it's a good idea. And then you take that money and invest it in something. Um, and just I've been listening to a lot of stuff right now on urban view, especially with our current climate. One of the things is that we're not an economically for African Americans and Latinos, we're not as economically sound as what we need to do. So what's running this country, even though they're trying to use race as the factor, it's not race, it's money. It's your privileged financial position. If you're somebody who's in a good financial position and you're Anglo, that's what's running the country. So that's some of what the problem is right now. And they're trying to make it a race issue, but it really is an economic class issue. Um, and what's going to happen with our school systems? I don't want to get into a whole nother, but there's a whole bunch going on right now. And folks, we just got to change it up. We got to change the game, and it's really a reshifting of our minds into. Anyway, y'all, I need to get my black butt off this thing because I've been on here a long damn time and I got to get some sleep. 2 hours. I need some sleep because I got to drive this in. I'm not. It's not due till Monday, but I want to drive out of here and be in Lubbock tomorrow, so that I can start getting my shit off this truck. Um, yeah, it is. It's your money, but a lot of your money right now, real quick, especially like with the school system it's gonna be jacked because they're talking about privatizing public schools, and that's gonna be like privatized prisons. It's not a good thing. It's a very bad thing. And so the people that are really gonna get shafted are gonna people in low income areas. That's your blacks and your Latinos. Some whites too, obviously, but black and Latino populations, we're gonna get hit heavy. especially if they privatize those schools. Our children aren't going to get the same education, and then you're going to have the parents, and especially if they make the laws where they've been trying to do for a long time anyway, where you can take your money from your taxes and put those towards those charter schools. Shh, shh, our kids are going to get screwed. Yeah, sometimes, well, with this company, I've had San Antonio. I love San Antonio. It's very pretty. I will let you know. Thank you. Eventually, I'll probably do a meet and greet. But yeah, we'll do something. Thank you very much, everybody. Good night. Have a blessed evening. Teacup views. Thank you. Shay E baby. Night. Trying to see what else. All my other peoples. Good night. Before you leave out, give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share it out. And if you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you didn't like it, somebody else might like it. Give it a thumbs up. To my driver manager guy, hit me up on truckerdoll@gmail.com with any questions that you have and what company you're with. Um, Crazy Trucker, you have a good night too. Rochelle Bailey, good night, baby. And Cammy Burkhart, yeah. I'll be back on. I'll be back in the Lubbock tomorrow, and then I gotta let him know because I'm not sending notice until I get all my medical stuff, and then I'll send him the notice about the truck. The truck's gonna be cleaned on Sunday anyway. I have it all cleaned Sunday, and then I'm gonna let him know. I'm just gonna tell him I have to take care of some medical stuff, and then I will let him know when I'm ready to return, or when I'll be in touch with him shortly thereafter. That's what I'm really gonna say, and that shortly thereafter will probably be my final notice. That's what's gonna end up happening. 50 going through the parking lot. I guess they're trying to make sure ain't no lot lizards. Either that or make sure truckers aren't doing anything they ain't supposed to be doing.